Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I'm thrown off. Barrett's not wearing the glasses, man. That's I like the look. It's just different.
I couldn't find him. I'm looking for him now.
You lost your specs.
You got to do what I do. I have like 12 pairs strategically placed. You think I'm kidding? As a matter of fact, I'll go to BJ's or Costco and you'll get like 4 in a pack, reading glasses for like $23. So I've got 2 on a nightstand on my side of the bed. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different pair on my desk here, my sitting room in my bedroom. I have 3 pair in the sofa, in the console, in the sofa in the family room. My wife keeps 3 or 4 pair in her office, and then there's another couple pair in the kitchen. And I have a brand new pack of 4 sitting in a cabinet over here that has not been opened yet. You know why? Because they break so easy. My problem is I'll use them when I'm reading at night on my phone, scrolling through stuff. And by the morning, I forget to put them on the nightstand, wake up, it's all bent up, the lens popped out. My wife is like, will you please stop this? And I'm like, I can forget. I read it. I can't just go to bed like a lot of people and fall asleep, man. I'll lay there staring at the ceiling. So I occupy myself playing a game called Word Cookies or just reading different sports stuff on like Twitter, ESPN.com, stuff like that. And I would say once a month, I have to do a eulogy for a pair of reading glasses.
It's the price you pay, man. So what's up, everybody in the chat section? What's up, Duck, Television Man, Hollywood, Chris, D, Steve, What Bread, Baron, Hollywood Hogan, A-Dog, William, Linda, and to everybody I missed, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us and making us a part of your day. That is for sure. How was our weekend? What did we do? Anything of interest? Gunner?
Well, as I told you guys, for the first time, we got to babysit the.
Before you even start, did you win? That's all I'm asking. Did you win?
Oh no, it gets better. No, I didn't win. No.
Win?
No. So
who was you trying to win? What am I missing?
Really. Well, first of all, getting them to sleep on Friday night was a chore.
Okay.
The 19-month-old was okay, but because the 6-month-old is still nursing and barely started taking the bottle, that was not just a job, it was an adventure. And then they both had fevers. And every time we try to give the baby the bottle, you see him go like this, and here it comes. That kid gushed on me at night, Saturday morning.
Exorcist.
And so his mom took off from where she was working overnight. She left at 3 a.m, came, got him Tylenol, and she was supposed to go with us to the Jurassic World tour at the Wells Fargo Center. She couldn't go. So we had 1 extra ticket that was not used. And today, even now, the babies are both of them still up and down with the fevers. So Saturday night. Oh yeah.
You don't get that off. You don't get that off.
What?
Why wasn't I asked to come?
Because you were working on your beautiful car.
But still, that was pretty. You were quick on your feet there. You know that's what I was doing. But still, you had an extra ticket. I mean, I could have sat next to my family.
Your what? your what?
Yeah, my family.
So man, I'll punch in your throat. Anyway, so we get home from the event at Wells Fargo Center on Saturday, and at 8:30 that night, my daughter's now at home, and she says she's going to take the 6-month-old to AI DuPont because his fever's like 102.7. It was up and down. So he took him in, and my middle daughter, Tina, was already visiting her at the house. And so she got in the car with the baby because he was kind of lethargic. And so I said, I'll meet you guys. And my wife said, go meet him there. So I met him there. By the time I got home, it was 2:15 in the morning, Sunday morning, me and my daughter. So, yep, it was quite the weekend. Now, the Jurassic World tour was great, great. It was like an hour show, $75 for an hour show.
Wow.
It was 30-minute. The first segment was 30 minutes. Then they had a 30-minute intermission, and then like 33 minutes for the last segment. It was entertaining for the kids. The place was packed. I was shocked at how packed it was.
Right.
It was a great time, but it was coupled with I got baby milk all over me for like 24 hours. And yeah, it was one of those days. It was you know, what's that? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. So that's my story in a nutshell.
I got you. All right, Barrett, how was yours? Anything of interest?
No, I did a bunch of stuff, you know, that I wanted to take care of because I couldn't really do it, you know, during the football season. You know, like I had to recover the pontoon, you know, with a cover because, you know, the water and rain and everything, and it was getting rain all over the seats and everything. So I recovered that, and then I went to sanding and buffing my pickup truck, and I shot the paint on it. It was pretty good, but there's a couple spots where I started sanding. I sanded too much, so I had to repaint the place because I burnt through it. And then I turned around, I repainted it again and repainted it again. So I put about three or four layers on it, and you know, waxed and buffed it, and it turned out pretty good, man. Okay. It's turning out pretty good. I got to put it back together now.
Did you have to sand the car down that you painted? You sanded it down?
I sanded. No, it's not. Did I sand it down? It's how many times I probably sanded and shot the paint. I mean, sanding alone, just getting it ready for paint. I sanded about at least 8 times, and then
the whole car.
Yeah. Okay. And in between coats, I light sanded a little bit, and then the last one, I shot a light clear over it, and I'm sanding that right now. I'm gonna buff it now. I'll be good to go. So it's not professional, but it looks good to me.
So you had to kind of do like you paint around the house. You had to put tape around the windows and then covering over the windows.
Yeah, Xander, if you have that, let's show folks what the stills of that Barrett showed us. Let's see if we can pull that up while just to show people what we're talking about here. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, I enjoy doing that stuff, and I got lost in the day. You know, I lost 2 days of my life doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Once I go in there and once I start going, I get lost, man. I just get lost, man.
That's good, though. That's a good thing. It's a
great hobby, though. Yeah. You're not paying somebody to do it. You do it yourself.
Well, you know, 9 times out of 10, you do it yourself, you're going to pay more. But this time I came out on the winning end. A paint job that would have cost me probably along the lines of $4,500, $4,800. Because the truck is 20 foot long, man. It's a 20-foot long truck. Dually, you know what I'm saying? 20 feet long, and I would venture to say probably about 4,900.
Look at that. So you saved yourself a lot of money.
Yeah. So I probably paid the material right around about $500. So yeah, I probably saved myself right around $4,000.
So are you gonna put pinstripes on or anything or no?
No, I think I'm gonna take in like the wheel wells. You know, a couple places on the wheel wells. I'm gonna put that Rhino line on it so it looks tough. I got a brush guard I'm gonna put on it, you know, and then a headache rack on the back. So you know, I'm gonna make it look like a real truck, like a tow truck. I'm gonna be towing my boats around it. That's what I got it for. That's
like it, man. I like that.
You know? So I mean, I enjoy doing stuff like that, man. I mean, if I was to go out and buy a new truck these days, I paid $5,000 for the truck. No, $4,000 for the truck. Paid $4,000 for the truck.
Well, how many miles?
208.
Okay.
2.8 on it. It's a 454. I redid the engine on it, you know what I'm saying, myself. You know, so everything I did it myself. And that was about probably about 400 in parts and everything. Yep. Mm-hmm. Put a new muffler on myself. That, you know, that was probably about 300 in parts. Would have cost me probably $3,000 for that.
Absolutely.
You know, buying all the stuff for the paint and everything, probably about 400, 500, right around there. And if I did all that stuff myself, I mean, if I hadn't did that stuff myself, I'd have probably been into this truck right around about $16,000, $17,000, $18,000.
You have a lift? You have a lift in your house?
I have it's called a Magic Jack lift. It's a Magic Jack. It's just a scissor lift. It only puts it up like 3 feet in the air.
I was going to say, woo, it's a little dangerous. But.
Yeah, it puts it up 3 feet in the air, but that's just enough to do everything I needed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm waiting to build me one of those garages and barn, you know,
the pole barn. The pole barn
like your son-in-law has.
Oh, my son-in-law's pole, but they just had it finished last fall, 30 feet by 60 feet with 4 bay doors. This thing is incredible, dude.
Unbelievable. I can't afford that though. That's that rich people stuff there.
And they're gonna have the dad helped pay for it also, because they live on the property as well, and they're gonna put in hydraulic lifts in one of the bays.
Yep.
So he can work under his car, up and under his car.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
This thing is, jeez. Oh my goodness, the stuff, dude. He has a wall and a half. They built their own shelves, and the top of the ceiling's got to be, I'd say 30 feet high. They built shelves, sturdy shelves, L-shaped, on two of the walls, Rob, and one complete section of the shelves is all of his hunting decoys.
Oh boy,
he must have at least 200 different types of duck and geese decoys. You think of it? And you know what he asked us for Christmas?
Man, he's the perfect son-in-law for you.
Oh heck yeah! You know what he asked for Christmas? He asked for more decoys. So me and my wife Trish bought him a set of new decoys, and then my daughter Tina, her husband, bought him a new set of decoys. Dude, if you saw this shelf, it's ridiculous how many decoys he has on the shelf for like deer hunting, duck hunting, geese. I'm like, that's too much. But awesome. It's neat because this pole barn is big as a small house. It's ridiculous.
Now it's not big as a small house. It's bigger than a small house.
That's true.
It's if you look at it, it's huge. It's huge. It's nice, man. And ever since then, I gotta have me one, man. Because I've grown out of my garage a long time ago. I got half my stuff outside the garage just because I got the truck in there.
Dude, you can store your boats there if you get a pole barn that big. You don't have to pay winter fees for storing boats and stuff. Yeah. What'd you do, R. Ellis?
So I had the father-daughter dance Friday.
Ooh, how'd that go?
Great. It was good. It was.
Why are you smirking? Wait. Did you actually dance with your daughter?
I did dance with her.
Okay. All right. 2
slow dances. So here's my observation. Everything comes full circle. Here's what I mean. You guys remember when you're in like 5th grade, 4th grade, whatever, whenever the dances would start at your grade school, right? And all the boys are in one corner and one side of the room, and all the girls are on the other side of the room. And the girls are the ones that are generally out there dancing, and the boys don't want to go out and dance and make fools of themselves, right? It's the same exact thing now. All the fathers are standing there. All the daughters are out on the dance floor. They're dancing. There's a DJ, the whole thing. And I just looked at one guy. I'm like, this is exactly the same way it was when we were 10, 11 years old. And it's the same thing now. Same exact thing. I swear to God. And they were like, credit to like a few dads who were brave enough to go out there and dance. But, Maddie was just like, so we danced to a couple of slow songs, and she was like mortified every second of it. So, it was one of those deals. So we just kind of got through it. It was fun. We went out to eat beforehand, and she had a couple of her friends back here afterwards. So we had a great time, man. But it was good. I'll have some pictures. I'll see if I can find one. If I can find one, I'll send it to you guys.
Cal Bundy asked a great question.
What?
Yeah.
Did you gritty?
I did not. No, Cal. Good question. I could not. I wouldn't embarrass her. I embarrass her enough just by being alive. I don't need to be doing the gritty.
I do. You just slow dance with her, or did you slow and fast dance?
Just slow. She didn't want fast dance? She didn't want any parts of me. She didn't want me slow dancing with her. God forbid I got out there and tried to fast dance with her.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm telling you.
You look like Elaine from Seinfeld.
I did. I would. Elaine was like, it was not happening. So it was good. Now, here's the brilliant part of her school. They were really smart in this sense. It was only 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
7 to 9, which I think is actually perfect, because right around 9, everybody was kind of done, and we got out of there. They didn't drag it out. It was quick. It was in and out. So I thought it was perfect. It was good.
The thing about that is she may not really appreciate it now, but I promise you'll revisit this moment when she's in her 20s and 30s and whenever she starts to have kids of her own, and she'll remember that moment that her dad did that for her.
Yeah. I think you're right. And I was trying, you know how it is when you're trying to get that across to a 17-year-old. They're kind of like, whatever, Dad. But I was like, look, let's just have fun. This is the last time we're going to be able to do this kind of stuff.
Right.
And I doubt you're right, Derek. You're absolutely right. I mean, I remember, man, when the Phillies won it in 2008, my son was 7. And I remember saying to him, like, dude, enjoy this, man. Like, it hardly ever happens in this city. We rarely ever win anything. And he was kind of like, okay, Dad. and then now he realizes, however many years later
Absolutely.
that they are few and far between. But yeah, it was all good this weekend. So couple things. Did you guys catch any of the NBA All-Star Game festivities either Saturday or Sunday?
No.
I didn't watch any of the skill competitions. I watched, let's just put it like this. I had the All-Star Game on. First of all, the musicians for the pre and halftime show, I guess the NBA was building itself now as a global game, so they had a lot of like top-notch African musicians on. I had no idea who they were. The music was great, but I had no idea who they were. And you see the players out there with their kids at halftime rocking. I had the game on, and I watched it with one eye for most of the game. I really didn't start paying attention to it until the third quarter. And the only reason I had it in front of me because I was working on the show last night. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I started to look up and really hone in on the game was because in the third quarter, Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell were putting on a 3-point show.
Yeah.
They were lighting it up.
They were.
And that's when I really started paying attention to it into the fourth quarter. But in terms of watching it from start to finish, no.
Okay. I watched the 3-point competition and the dunk. Okay. And it was, more out of curiosity just to see how McClung would look, right? And, obviously he stole the show. I'll tell you, you're doing something right when you get the old heads, and I mean that respectfully, like Doc and Dominique and the guys who were the pioneers of this, and then the young dudes are all going crazy. But when the older guys are also giving you that, that's when you're doing something. So it was, I tell you, Trey Murphy was awesome too.
Really?
It's lost in all of what McClung did. You're also at a great advantage. If you have those kind of hops and you're smaller, it just looks that much better.
Yeah, it does.
When you're 6'2" and doing that stuff as opposed to 6'8", you got an automatic advantage there.
Here's why I deliberately shunned watching. After watching slam dunk contests for the last 20 plus years, I'm thinking to myself, what more creative ways can they show you to dunk? And it wasn't until after it was over, I started seeing Twitter blow up about this McClung and what he was doing. And I said, I wish I'd seen it, but can he get any more creative? We've seen every kind of dunk that you can imagine, over people, over vehicles, 360. How many more take off from the foul line? How many more dunks can we see?
No, you're right. And that's the hard thing about this. It's like, in fairness, everything's been done to death. Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to come up with something creative. So the other thing is, and I love the McClung story. Good for him. Hopefully it gets him a chance to play in the league. And
where is he allocated at?
So he's with the Sixers. He's on a 2-way deal now.
Okay.
He had himself a weekend. He got a 2-way contract from the Sixers. He got a sneaker deal from Puma, and he won the dunk contest. So he made a couple bucks, but
yeah, his earnings were like 106
the
entire year, but he got 100,000 just for the dunk contest.
Yes, so he had a nice. That's nice work for a night.
No question.
Here's what I would like to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
No, the only thing I was going to say is and I believe me, I'm not this. I don't want this in any way, shape, or form. Like I'm talking down to McClung. I think it's unbelievable what the guy did. Good for him. But the fact that we have to dig into the G League for guys to compete in this thing.
I know.
Like that, you tell me like John Morant, who at 22 or whatever he is,
my goodness,
can't compete in this thing. I'm not asking LeBron to do it at 38 or whatever, but like, come on, man. Like, some of the younger stars can't get out there and throw down. That's the frustration for me.
Anybody know why he bowed? He didn't want to do it. Was there any reason?
I don't know. I don't know what his reasoning is. I just think the league has to figure something out to either incentivize this or what. I don't know. I understand you can't literally force these guys, but they should want to do it for the sake of the game, like back in the day Doc did and Dominique did and Kobe did, whatever. These guys need to help their game out, if you will, because let's face it, if it wasn't for the McClung sort of uniqueness of it, it's a yawn.
I tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see the old heads go against the young guns, like Dominique, Vince Carter, Spud Webb. Remember when Spud Webb won a dunk contest one year?
Yeah.
This dude is 5'3" and got up and at my best, in my best days, I could grab the rim like this. But a dude 5'3" being able to get up over a rim and slam the way he did, I would love to see him go up against like a Ja Morant team and like the top dunkers today. I think that would generate some interest to see if the old dudes can still do it. Yeah, I think Vince Carter good. I don't know about Dominique, but
I wouldn't go as far back as like Dominique and Doc and those guys, but I hear you.
Bro, Ja would have won it outright if he Ja got his hops is almost scary, bro. Yeah. It's almost scary. Like it's almost uncontrollable. You know what I'm saying? He jumps is almost uncontrollable when he's in the air. I mean, he jumps.
And there's 2 or 3 guys that like Ja's got the perfect combination of name recognition, star power, and he can dunk. There's a couple guys. You tell me you can't round up 3 guys that are superstars that we know are great dunkers that are that age. They can't, you can't convince them to do it. So I think that's, again, I'm taking nothing away from Mac McClung because it was fun. It made it interesting. It definitely did.
I tell you, the one thing that really just blew me away is that Joel Embiid played in that game.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to feel about that.
Shocked.
If you guys had told me, I would have known. I would have known.
Yeah. I was shocked. Why you told us before the All-Star that the foot is still bothering you. Why would you, even though basically nobody was playing defense, he was jogging up and he accidentally scored 32 points. Every time he drove the paint, people just step out of the way and let him drive, So the risk factor was minimized, but all you have to do is step on somebody's foot wrong, come down wrong because he slam dunked several times, come down wrong in a meaningless game like that, and you're sitting out for another, especially with this over the last 25 games. This is the heavyweight portion of their schedule.
Big time.
This ain't no joke. These last 25 games ain't no joke.
And Derek, to add to it, like it's like 44 games in 25 days or 45 games, 20. It's something crazy where it's a lot. Like you're jamming a lot into the last, portion of this thing, last third of it or whatever it has to be.
I just don't want to see him out of crucial stretches. It's coming, and I understand if the foot's bothering him, you got to know when to sit him down. I just thought these extra days, because they don't play again until when? Thursday?
Thursday's their first game back. Yep.
So the last game was what? Friday? Thursday?
No, Wednesday.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, they had 8 days off in between games, actual games.
So you had 8 days to get therapy, treatment, stay off it, all that good stuff. And you out there playing a meaningless game. There's a small part of me that applauds him for being the ambassador that he was.
Yeah.
But from being a smart standpoint, that was not a smart move.
I know. The only thing I would say in his defense, and I'm speculating, was the league leaning on these guys a little bit to do it?
Of course.
And I know Giannis didn't, but Giannis's injury appears to be a little bit more serious.
With the wrist.
So I don't, and Embiid would never say it publicly, but I don't know if there was kind of like, Joel, come on, man. Like,
hey, no, first of all, them having it in Salt Lake City anyways.
Oh, you hear
they would have the beg to get basketball players up there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's not a place. That's not a place for an all-star event really to be, if in all actuality.
Right.
Did you hear Barkley last night? He said there's not enough alcohol.
Right. Yeah. I mean, come on now. That alone right there, then you got to think about, it's just not a state that there's a lot of black folks there anyways. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right.
No.
Plus, it's cold as hell there.
Yeah, I'm not going to Utah. I'd buy out. I don't care if I got $1 million bonus to play an all-star game. I ain't going to Utah. I'm sorry. I understand it's beautiful
you give
country.
me $1 million, I might go to Utah, actually.
I don't know about that. Nah, my brother's been there. He said beautiful state.
I've been there too.
I'm not going to Utah. I'm sorry.
I went up there. I did an event for Vi Sikahema.
Okay.
So I go up there. First of all, you get off the plane and it's freezing cold. I mean, freezing cold. You can't breathe. So we go up. We're doing the event and we go up these ski ramps. And I was so scared going up the ski ramp. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I got to go back down. I'm halfway up and I'm thinking already, I got to go back down. I'm already scared to death. To go back down, I'm looking down. I don't want to move. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting next to somebody, I'm like, man, don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me. You know what I'm saying? Just get away from me, bro. You know what I'm saying? The other dude is sitting next to me. He's scared too. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? And you know who it was? It was McMahon. It was Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon. I said, Jim, don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me. You know, he went to BYU.
He played there. Right. He played there.
Yeah, so we were up at it was around the film festival too. That film festival.
Yeah, it's it's Robert Redford started it. Sundance.
Yeah, Sundance. Yeah, so I'm up there. I mean, I'm going down. I'm so scared, bro. I'm telling you, man. It seemed like it took forever. It's only supposed to take 28 minutes, but it felt like about 5 hours going down.
Jeez, forget that.
It was ridiculous, bro. I was so scared, bro. And I don't play with heights, but that was ridiculous. I'm looking up as I'm going on. And then when it comes and picks you up, it like you gotta like jump up and it boom, it like, you know, right up on you, boom, and jerks you and you go. Mm-hmm. Man, if you don't get right, bruh. Bruh, I'm telling you, man, I was scared, bro. I was scared.
I would love to see Utah this summer. My brother's been there. I see people talking about the Salt Flats. And my brother's been to the Salt Flats, says it's beautiful. In the summer, yes, but I'm not going anywhere. I don't have to go in the winter. The last dumb move I made to go somewhere in the winter was a couple of years ago. My brother wanted me to go to Milwaukee. He was coming for his birthday, and we decided to go see the Bucks play the Lakers. And I'd never been to the Pfizer Center. And I said, okay. So I went to Milwaukee. It was cold, but that Pfizer Center is incredible. But right down in downtown Milwaukee. But I said, this was not conducive to my mental lifestyle at this point. But I did it for my little brother. But I don't go to cold places. And I never understood people who live in cold regions who go to like Aspenvale. I understand you like to ski. I get it. But I'm not doing it. I'm not going to a place colder than where I live on a vacation, spend my money going somewhere colder. I'll go somewhere hotter, but not colder.
If I'm going somewhere voluntarily during the winter season, it's not going to be somewhere colder.
Right.
That is a rule of thumb.
One time, for NBC, we do something. We used to do stuff like we would go with people sponsors. We go to the sponsors, you know, so they would take sponsors certain places. So the first time I get asked to go with the sponsors. Guess where we end up going? Colorado, Aspen, Colorado. In the wintertime.
Oh man.
I'm like, come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I go. Can't breathe up there. All I did was eat edibles while I was up there. That's it.
Eat what?
Stay sane. Edibles.
You ate edibles.
Yeah.
You openly admit that.
That's weed.
It's legal there.
Yes, it's weed gummy drops or weed, whatever it is, like candies and stuff like that. Yeah. Yes, Derek. Really? I did partake. Yes.
Does Mama Brooks approve of this?
I don't know.
She's told on yourself.
She's on here today. Hi, Mama Brooks.
I know.
You just told on yourself.
You might be grounded.
Right. But yes, I did.
You might not be getting your allowance.
I had some I had this little thing. It was actually what did it call? The Fruity Pebbles. It was like a Fruity Pebbles square. It was ridiculous, man. So they say, hey, take this, so when they give it to me. And the guy gives it to me, turns around, and I go and eat the whole thing. He said, all right, here, let me get half of that too. I'm like, what do you mean half? I just
you ate the whole thing?
You ate the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Hey, bro, you might need to go back to your room, bro.
Were you whacked out of your mind?
Bro, I went back to the room, bro.
Yeah.
You went to Colorado eating edibles. The air is already thin as it is.
It was even thinner that day.
Eagles
bro.
Real is a White Castle edible? Is the question?
That means, bro, that would make more money than the law would allow.
See, I don't know what edibles is. So
Hey, Doug, come on, man. We tell mom on me, bro.
Don't tell mom, Doug.
You already told on yourself. You told your mom you're eating edibles on this show.
This is between us.
I'm trying to keep this open. I'm trying to be open to the people that listen to the show. You know what I'm saying? But I guess I can't do that anymore. I got to keep it.
No, because people here said, we love listening to you guys' personal stories. We just let people know we're regular guys just like them. We have highs and lows in life just like them.
Yeah,
we do crazy stuff.
Cal, I didn't get the munchies. I didn't want to munch on anything. I just wanted to sit in that room and stop the walls from falling down on me. And I can remember like the bed was going like this. And I'm looking around like,
I wish I could have seen this.
No, you don't.
I wish I could have seen this.
It was some bad football, bro. Bad football, bro.
Oh
it was.
My God.
I wish I could have seen this.
Interesting.
Oh my goodness.
That explains a lot.
So we know you're a pothead. Okay, what else do we need to know?
Oh, I'm not a pothead. I haven't taken edibles since then.
When in Rome, that's you got to do what you got to do.
Right, right.
All right. So when we come back,
I'm glad you think that's so funny, Derek. He's wrong for that, man. See, friends like that, man. Friends like that, you don't need any.
All I want are some tasty buds and go away.
Barrett Spicoli. Yes. All right. So we'll come back, and there is a little Eagles news here on another candidate for the defensive coordinator spot. So we'll talk about that. Some very interesting stuff from Peter King's latest from Jonathan Gannon, and a potential offer that the Eagles made to counter him leaving to take the Cardinals head coaching gig. We'll get into all of that. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot to do today. That's for sure. That's Derek Gunn. That's Barrett Brooks. I'm Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Right now, I'm going to tell you about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because knowing who to trust with your finances, it's scary. It's critical. You know how hard you work, and you want that money to take care of you later in life. You want to invest it with the right person. I got the right person. It's Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group. Whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, you might have a small business and you need help with your employee benefits, kind of getting them off the ground. That's another resource that Jim can help you with. I know I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover with Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. You will be as well. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751. You can email him as well, Murray, MURRAY, .jim@principal.com. That's Murray.jim@principal.com.
Philadelphia fans, were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
My name is Fran Salerno, and I'm a managing director here at Del Valle Insurance Group. Been in the business for over 36 years, saving people money on their insurance needs. Give us a call. Let us help you custom design an insurance plan that meets both your needs and budget.
Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Hey, by the way, guys, this is pretty awesome. We've now gone over 30,000 YouTube subscribers.
What?
And if you haven't already, if you haven't already, or you have a friend who maybe hasn't gotten word about what we're doing here, our show, the entire network, the entire channel, please pass the word along. 30,000 YouTube subscribers. It's free. Just jump on, get in there, man. And we're just going to keep growing. This thing is, we're on like the entry level of what is going to be just a booming business. I can't emphasize that enough. So
yeah, baby.
Thank you to all of you who have subscribed, and we're going to keep this thing rolling, man. And we got you. We got you. We appreciate you. All right, a couple other things here, guys. This is interesting. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN reporting that the Eagles have already interviewed Jim Leonhard, who was formerly the DC at Wisconsin. I know, Gunnar, you follow close attention to the Wisconsin Badgers, but Jim also played more than a decade in the NFL as a safety. He's coached in the NFL. Like, this dude's done it all, and you're muted, B. He's really respected in both circles, both college and the NFL. Interesting name here, guys. I
mean, Jets, he was under Bolin. He played under Bolin, you know. So I mean, he can play, man. He played under one of the twins. What's his name?
The Rob Ryan.
Rob Ryan. Yeah, he played under Rob Ryan.
Rex and Rob are the twins you're referring to, but
yeah, both. I mean, he understands conceptually how to stop the run, even though he plays safety. I mean, where has he been since then? I don't know. Where was he at?
Wisconsin. So he was the DC there until they fired their head coach. If you remember, it was more of an offensive issue more than it was. Chris got fired.
Yeah.
Leonhard was the DC, and then when he was fired, he took over as the interim coach for the rest of the year. They blew everybody out when Luke Fickell came in, who was at Cincinnati. So that's where he was.
Well, Fickell asked him to stay, and he decided to move on.
Yeah.
I will say this about Jim Leonhard, because I watched that program extensively for years. Wisconsin was one of those Big Ten schools that were always competitive, but never got an abundance of 5-star talent. So you were left taking the 3-star, 2-star, sometimes 3.5-star talent to build your team around. And Jim Leonhard's defense ranked in the top 10 every year across the country. And a lot of times his defense was number 2 and number 3 in the country. His concept, they didn't give up a lot of points. They didn't give up a lot of yardage in a lot of games. Jim Leonhard knows defense. He was an outstanding player as a pro player as well. Now, can he translate? Jim Leonhard would be a good hire, I think. Could he get the same productivity at the NFL level? Don't know. I've seen a whole lot worse try and fail. Mm-hmm. They recycle all these defensive coaches who have failed time and time again. Jim Leonhard has a fresh approach to the game. I mean, Jim Leonhard made T.J. Edwards what he became.
Yes,
think about that.
Definitely. J.J.
Watt,
T.J. Watt,
all those guys he had up there. Jim Leonhard's an outstanding defensive mind. You know what? That's not a name we were looking at when we started talking about possibilities. Don't rule him out. I mean, the man can coach football. He can coach defense.
Mm-hmm. And that's something I'll be interested in. I haven't seen defensive. I haven't really bought onto a guy that came straight from college into being a defensive coordinator. I'm trying to think when the last time I heard of something. I know offensive coordinators have made the jump and become defensive coordinators, but I'm trying to think who's the last person I know that was a defensive coordinator, came from college and made that jump into a DC position.
Well, does it change your view that he played for a long time in the NFL? Does that make it? Is it a little bit smoother, or no? Does that not impact the way
not impactful. I just think it's easier to coach offense coming into the league as a coordinator as opposed to defense, because conceptually it's different, man. It's like a whole new different set of play selection that you go through. You mean it's a lot of read option quarterbacks, a lot of RPO quarterbacks in college football. Doesn't equate necessarily to the NFL, where it's a lot of drop back quarterbacks, conceptual schemes, understanding how to break things down. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody made that jump and was successful. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, if there's somebody in the
yeah, we'll think about it. Anybody in the chat wants to jump in on that? Yeah, I think it's an interesting point, Barrett. I will say this: if you look at it, we've heard Vance Joseph. We've already heard Leonard. We've heard some other names bandied about on that side of the ball.
Yep.
We haven't heard nary a word on the offense. This thing's a lock that it's Brian.
I'm telling you, man.
Unless they're doing some kind of real covert mission here with the offensive side of the ball, it's Brian Johnson.
Wasn't Vance Joseph the guy who coached Hassan Reddick in Arizona, didn't know how to use him?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Derek. His track record is not really great. I started looking at it. If you go back, he did a nice job a while ago with the Texans as their D coordinator, but since then, it's not a lot of success as a coordinator or as a head coach, for what it's worth.
Yeah, it was worth a lot. I mean,
yeah. There's not much. I mean, he's more of an aggressor, which will appeal to some people for sure, than what Gannon was. But yeah, I don't really love the notion of Vance Joseph personally.
I'm surprised we haven't heard the name Lovie Smith yet.
Right.
In terms of being a possible candidate, unless Lovie just doesn't want to do it now after having the sour taste of being excommunicated out of Houston.
He might want to have a chill year, Derek, and just collect a check. I don't blame him.
It didn't work. It didn't work out for him in Illinois. He jumped to Houston. 1 year later, he's gone there. Some people out there, I don't want a Tampa 2 defense here. Yeah, well, you got a guy that knows the Tampa 2 defense inside and out. If you have the right personnel, the Tampa 2 defense is still applicable in today's NFL. But you got to have the right personnel, and with this being a team that will be rebuilding its defense, as I said last week, it is imperative you get a defensive coordinator sooner rather than later to get some input. What type of players do you need to run your type of defense? Whether it's mid to lower tier vets, because you can fill out a roster with mid to lower tier vets / rookies and have a decent defense if you have the right coordinator in there. But that D coordinator needs to have some input in terms of what you want to make his transition that much easier.
There's some great nuggets, and I got to give him. And he always does an excellent job getting inside information and stuff you haven't heard yet or whatever. But Peter King's column today, Football Morning in America, is chock full of a lot of Super Bowl stuff and Eagles related notes, guys. So couple things. Let's just stay on the Gannon discussion for a minute here. There's a lot of juicy stuff, but one that really stands out. Well, first off, let me just say this. He's hired Nick Rallis, who was the Eagles linebackers coach, to be his defensive coordinator. He was a well-respected guy in the building and really highly thought of around the league. So he takes that gig. He's 29 years old. That is a young dude to get a defensive coordinator.
Well, that's what that and there lies, what I was saying about hiring in-house. He was one of the candidates that I thought, would have had an opportunity.
I agree.
Get an interview.
Barrett, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
He was an in-house candidate.
The only thing Rallis will do is run Jonathan Gannon's defense in Arizona. Whoever the D coordinator is will be under Gannon. It will be Gannon's concepts or philosophy. Excuse me, not concepts, philosophy.
Yeah. Well, what defense do you say Gannon runs?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know. He doesn't run it. He doesn't run the concept. Barry runs philosophy.
Scheme. He doesn't run a scheme. Yeah, he's
you saw that philosophy work, didn't you, last week?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was still on the Gann wagon, and I still don't think he did a bad job.
I think he had a bad Super Bowl, but I think
they won in spite of him.
He had a bad second half of the Super Bowl.
But here's the thing, Derek. All right, so I hear a lot. I'm not saying you, but I hear from a lot of people that, of course, they did good. They had tons of talent, and they had a lot of talent.
They did.
He got the best out of everybody on that side of the ball. Brandon Graham had his best year, sack-wise at least.
Yep, we're playing less time. Yes.
Reddick had his best year.
Yes.
Yep.
Hargrave had his best year. T.J. Edwards had his best year. Bradbury had his best year.
Yes.
Like, and I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, but we could go through it. Like, I don't think that's a coincidence that these guys collectively elevated their game to that level. I think he played a part of that. And I think people don't want to give him any kind of props. I get it. Like, we're all stung by the Super Bowl. But the guy was, in my opinion, a good coordinator.
I have been consistent in my gray area with Gannon all season long. And we had great fun going back and forth about the Gannon wagon. But I have never changed my perception of
No,
him.
you didn't. You didn't. You
No,
were never
you
all the way
you
on.
stay true to it.
You've been hanging on the side for a long time. But
yes,
say what you want to say, man. I know that offense was good, but y'all are acting like Gannon's defense was terrible. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say that.
Well, I'm saying most people are acting like
it's gone to that extreme, I guess.
Right, like they're acting like, oh, they're glad he's gone. I'm not glad he's gone in that all actuality. In fact, I think he took his first year, he took lemons and made lemonade. This time he came into this year with the whole stand, eliminating the stand. And I think he held up pretty well considering this is his second year with those guys.
I've said that here's what I give him credit for. He put his guys in position to make plays.
That's his job.
Okay. It used to make my stomach hurt watching his Pro Bowl secondary play so passive against the pass. Number 3, I look at the volume of quarterbacks he played this season. Number 4, I looked at how many pours. It was like every week they were playing an offensive line that was missing 2-3 guys on their offensive line. They took advantage of the situation. He had a dominant defense. We agree on one thing. They had the best collection of overall defensive talent in the NFL, bar none. And we right or wrong?
Right.
Okay. It had the deepest rotation of defensive talent in the NFL, bar none.
Right.
We agreed on that.
Absolutely.
It used to make me cringe. The cornerback play would make me cringe every week, watching how he was showing respect to backup quarterbacks and marginal receivers instead of coming up and punching them in the mouth every week the way Kansas City played. You look at Spagnuolo, took a bunch of kids and played the same doggone way every week, knowing full well that they were going to get burned, they were going to go through growing pains. Did the same thing in the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl. How many times do we see Kansas City's corners coming up playing press coverage on Pro Bowl wide receivers, 2 of which had 1,000 yards?
Yeah, Derek, you're right. I mean, but like a couple things. One, Patrick Mahomes does this to virtually everybody. Okay. And
I get that.
No, I'm just saying. And like I'm not talking about like Dak. That's a different tier. Okay. But the upper echelon guys usually play pretty well. That's why they're the greats.
Yeah.
So the notion that, oh my God, every great quarterback tears them up. Well, every great quarterback tears up a lot of teams.
Tears up everybody.
That's why they're great.
And the one thing I would say, like for everybody who was like blitz, well, he did that on one of those touchdowns in the Super Bowl, and it absolutely killed him. Like, for example, the second touchdown, remember the 2 plays where the Eagles got undressed, the Kadarius Toney and the Sky Moore. Okay. Which was awful. It was embarrassing on 1,000 levels. But the second one, the Eagles are in a 0 blitz. Okay. They rushed 7 guys on the play. So I'll just give you an example. They had 1,211 defensive snaps this year. That's the 8th time they went into 0 blitz. They only did it 8 times. Like, I'm just saying, the notion that he never does it, he's never aggressive, it's just not true.
Oh, I never said that. I never.
Let me say rarely, but not.
Yeah, I never said that. I said that if you look at who's the quarterback who carved him up, Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
Dak Prescott carved that defense up. You know why? Because they played the exact doggone same defense against Dallas that they did in the Super Bowl.
He didn't carve. Dak Prescott did not carve them up.
Dak carved. Come on, man. Seriously, CeeDee Lamb was running free all over the doggone field. Are you serious?
He beat him on a 3rd and 30. That play, he beat him on 3rd and 30.
It was more than that one play, Barrett. I'm not talking about that one. That play was a fluke. I'm not talking about one play.
Let's look at how many yards he had. How many yards did Dak have? I don't know. The stream will tell me. But I'm.
Are you talking about against the Eagles?
Yes.
I'll find it. I'll tell you in 1 second. Go ahead. Talk while I'll have it up in a minute.
He had a pretty good game, but it wasn't like he was just carving them up. I think he made a lot of plays. Like he should have been sacked on the one play by Vontae Maddox. He should have been sacked, and that went for a first down, and that would have changed how the drive went. He had a 3rd and 30 that, definitely changed how the game went. Yeah.
He was 27 of 35, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick six.
Oh, that's a big
day. That's a big day.
That's better than a sous chef. That's a master chef. You're
better
right.
Than what?
That wasn't a sous chef. That
hearing the tapping on the grill.
Dude, they played the same defense against Dallas that they played against Kansas City. The same doggone defense.
Yeah, listen, I'm not.
Look, my fault.
Let's rewind the tape.
All right.
Oh man!
And believe me,
he didn't have a good day. He had a damn good day. Okay.
So I'll say this: I don't think he did not have a good Super Bowl.
I call him Emerald.
but real quick, this is the last thing I'll say. Yeah, right. You walk into any Philly cheesesteak place, you hear it on the grill. That's what that was. There was some chopping going on.
Oh my goodness.
He did not have a good Super Bowl, but in actuality, they gave him 24 points.
Right.
Jalen gives him one. Yeah. The other one, the ball's returned to the 4. Okay, and they scored 38. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not telling you it was good because it was 4 possessions in the second half, and it was touchdown, field goal, could have been a touchdown. I'm not telling you it was good. But Kansas City tends to do that when you're the number 1 scoring team to a lot of teams. He could have done a better job in the second half. But I also don't want to let the players off the hook either. I think we're letting the players off the hook a little too much too.
Yeah, but Rob, you cannot have that kind of talent, man, in corner and showing respect to margin. Look up and down at who they played all year, except for Minnesota. You can't be showing these people that kind of respect.
Yeah, true.
You can't.
True.
You got a dominant defense playing mediocre offenses, and you back there playing flag football. You can't. You cannot. You got to get up in their face. You got to make them respect you. Don't respect them.
Yeah.
And that just drove me nuts the entire season. That's why I went from being in the middle of the bandwagon to the back seat, to hanging off the rail with my legs flapping in the wind, to hanging off the side, to back in the back seat again, because every week it was something different.
Yeah.
They got the turnovers, volume of turnovers. They 3rd most sacks in the history of the NFL. I'm giving Gannon credit for a number of things, but in the bigger scheme of things, his philosophy made me beat my head against the wall, because you have to adapt in big games. He never adapted in that Dallas game down in Dallas, and he never adapted in the Super Bowl. Never. I'm waiting for a change. How many times did he blitz? Now, I understand you blitz Patrick Mahomes, you're asking for problems. But, again, I can't get off of it. And I watched the game twice since the Super Bowl. I can't get off of this. Spagnuolo put a lot of trust in a bunch of young kids. He never deviated from what he was going. We talked about it all week. Spagnuolo's going to blitz. Doggone it, he did blitz. He put his kids on the island. They got burned. Do you think he changed from that? No, this is how we're going to this is the only way we can play Jalen Hurts. We got to how many times did we talk about after the Super Bowl? Jalen was running out under duress. They didn't get him. Now, the 2 sacks were fluke because he lost scrimmage, yards behind the line of scrimmage. So not like they got him to the ground. But how many times was he under duress, either throwing the ball out of bounds, or throwing it off from his weak side instead of his strong side? That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I'm not arguing with that. Yeah,
Eagles had the better defense. Kansas City played the better overall game.
Yeah, it's the thing that drives you crazy about the loss in general. The Eagles had way more depth. They were a more talented team on paper. But
there's no way the Eagles should have lost that game. No way. Even with Jalen's miscue of fumbling that football, there's no way you let. I don't care if it is. I don't care if it's Tom Brady. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes. There's no way in a Super Bowl game a quarterback's supposed to complete 13 out of 14 passes in a half, and the only incompletion is a throwaway.
I'm just saying. Here's all I'll say.
I got to give him 14 points, though, man.
Yeah, that hurts too. But I don't know who they're going to end up. Who they're going to end up hiring, and I'm sure they're going through this as we speak. But I'm just saying, careful what you wish for. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
We don't know if any of these candidates will be any better because they won't have the same collection of talent.
You're right about that.
The assessment we make next season will not be a fair assessment because the talent will look completely different compared to what we just witnessed this one moment in time in history.
Yeah. Well, the challenge for whoever gets this is a lot of new faces on that side.
Could be.
I mean,
that might be good for.
It might be not be the worst thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because he could take those guys and he can customize the defense wherever he wants to.
That's what I said. Whoever it is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at that. If you look at the defense, they gave up 21, 22 points in the Super Bowl.
24 points. 24 points.
Okay. 24 points in the Super Bowl. There was 14 points that were just given. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't ask Patrick Mahomes. You can't say that Patrick Mahomes not supposed to score. He's on the 5 going in.
I know that.
Come on, and then he got a freebie with Jalen. So that's 14 points that you take out. What was the score?
38-35.
Yeah.
Well, you could say 27 because the kicker hit one off the uprights. It could have been 27 points.
Right.
But they walked down the field and could have punched, but it had an additional 3.
No, that's why I pointed out. They could have been
the Eagles still scored. The Eagles still scored 35 points.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You should be able to win with 35 points.
Agreed.
Your coordinator let you down on defense. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
he let you down.
I think that, look, I really think that Gannon absolutely, but there's blame everywhere on this.
Yes.
Like,
if you got
the ball, I agree.
Right, put it like this, on zero blitz.
Yeah.
Some guys you got to know they got a master out there. They put zero blitz, the second touchdown to Elijah Moore. On that play, they were lined up. They were lined up in the wrong formation. You know what I'm saying? To run the play. They couldn't run it. So what does he do? What does the quarterback do? Patrick Mahomes says, all right, I want you to run the jet motion.
Yeah, Kelsey was lined up wrong.
So he said, I want you to run it instead of on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
That's just being not out-coached. That's just the quarterback being the man.
The other thing, the other observation in which was great in Peter's story, was Darius Slay on the one just gets lazy on it.
Yeah,
he's lackadaisical. How are you lackadaisical in a freaking Super Bowl?
He's talking and looking at the other side, side instead of watching that man. You got
he moved inside when the dude went in motion. He moved inside doing this, not paying attention to the man.
That's on you. That's not on Gannon. That's on Darius.
The worst thing about that, he has him man to man.
Yes,
that's your man. So it don't make a difference. If he goes to the sideline and he wants a Gatorade, Slay should have been handing him the Gatorade. But instead, he's playing lax. He's talking to the other side instead of watching his man. When you got his man, you should be following whatever he does. And he was paying attention more to what he wanted to convey to the other side instead of watching this guy. Mm-hmm. If he had just played man to man.
We say the same thing about Maddox on the other side, on the other touchdown.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maddox goes in motion, stops between the tackle and the DN. He's looking inside at the ball snap. As soon as the ball snap, it's over. It's too late. You got caught. We haven't seen Maddox do that all year. All of a sudden, he's looking inside on this play. You just saw it happen on the other side. That's a lack of, number one, focus. Number two, did you have a discussion on the sideline? Did you talk about it on the sideline? I don't think they talked about it. They might have talked about it amongst themselves, but I don't think your defensive coordinator calls, all right, dude, you huddle up with these dudes. You should know better than this. Even if they didn't run the same play to the opposite side, which is egregious enough, there should have been a discussion after the first time about how we're going to scheme this if they got inside the 5 again the next time. Lo and behold, the next doggone series.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Agreed. There's no question. I completely agree with you on that.
I'm done for the day. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
I want to hit you guys with a couple other things regarding just NFL, whatever. This is the kind of thing, and I know they are Teflon. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. The NFL's just a juggernaut, and everybody just gets run over. Okay? I get it. But for them to come out with a statement saying that State Farm Field, which is where they played the Super Bowl in Arizona, the surface met required standards.
It's a joke.
Is an absolute disgrace. And you know what it is more than anything else? It's an insult.
Yes.
It's an insult to the fans. It's an insult to media. It's an insult to anybody who observes this league who knew better. However you feel about the teams that were playing, you don't want your grandest of stages being some quagmire where guys are falling all over the place. I would have more respect if they said, you know what? Best laid plans. Like, we did everything we thought was right. It turns out X, Y, and Z happen, and we're working on whatever we can do to correct this so it doesn't happen again. Then I'm saying, okay, I don't like it, but at least you're owning it.
Yes.
They don't have the decency to own this, and you're going to insult us with that statement? Come on, man.
It's the biggest insult to your multi-million-dollar players who play the game at the highest level, who generate your fan base. That's an insult, direct insult to the players by basically saying, they're good to us. But if somebody had torn up a knee or an ankle or something like that, I'd love to see how they scramble behind that. But because everybody walked off the field unscathed, hey, it was okay with us. You sat there while your commissioner sat there in a private box and watched that mess. You mean to tell me that's the best thing that he can come out of their mouths is that it looks fine to us? You had an ice rink out there, basically. Mm-hmm. You put the two best teams in football at a severe deficit and ran them out there potentially high risk field for 60 minutes of your biggest spectacle of the season. And the only thing you can say is, even if you didn't believe it, all you had to come out and say was, it's something we'll look into. You couldn't even say that. Yeah.
I mean, that is just common courtesy, honest to God. Like it's the least you could do is own up to it instead of some met the standards. What's the standard? How low is that bar? I mean, honest to God, let's just throw them into, like mud wrestling at this point.
That tells me you don't care about the players. No, you got what you wanted. You don't care about the player. You invested in this new turf, this new innovative turf, Tahoma 31 turf. And that's all you cared about. You cared about an $800,000 playing surface more than you did $1 billion worth of athletes playing out in the football field.
Yeah.
And you wonder why the Players Association hates the league office.
Right. Yeah. And you want to hear the kicker? Guess what surface they're playing on next year in the Super Bowl?
Don't tell me Tahoma 31.
The same stuff. They're playing on the same turf, the rye grass. Except it's in Vegas next year.
Oh my goodness.
It's the same surface.
I thought Vegas was an indoor.
It is. So is Arizona.
It's the same.
But it rolls out.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. So that's a major problem. And for that, and I guarantee you, behind the scenes, they're scrambling. They're investigating and trying to figure this out. But that's some irony right there that you're telling everybody that that's fine. And even George Toma's like backing away from it. The turf god, the sod god they call him. He's backing away from this, saying, "Hey, Wednesday, what I left was fine." They're implying, whether it was the paint that they put on the field or Rihanna's performance and the way the field was dug up, whatever. Here's the other thing that was interesting that I read in that Peter King story, and I tell everybody to check it out when you get some time. So it was unseasonably cold in Phoenix during Super Bowl week. They take that stuff outside. It sits outside.
Yep.
That lends to condensation when it's cold. Like, how it is. You walk outside here and you get frost on the ground. So they didn't do a good enough job drying it out. Also, on top of everything else. Like, how does this happen? There should be a team just in charge of that. No?
Well,
a grounds crew.
Yeah. 800,000. 800,000. Come on, man.
It's a lot of bread, man.
Bro, and they could have gotten expert opinions from places like Chicago, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, that deal with these type of surfaces all the time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's no stadium that gets more traffic than the Steelers stadium every year because they play high school football on it and they play the college football on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're used to having those type of conditions. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't see their players slipping around.
Right. I'm not crying over spilt milk, but it definitely hurt the pass rush of our guys because they couldn't turn the corner. They were sliding, slipping. And none of them made any excuses. Because they said, look, we played on the same surface as they did. That's all they've said.
The only thing Nega Reddick said it was the worst surface I ever played on. And everybody agreed in unison.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Because both teams were slipping and sliding like you were watching the Ice Capades.
Yeah.
And the Eagles, again, they made no excuses.
We don't do that. We're not doing that.
They basically, from Howie Roseman to the head coach, hey, both teams played on the same field. Yep. That's all you heard.
Even the coordinators on their way out didn't say anything.
Nope.
Nobody made any excuses. But so,
yeah, it was Jonathan Gannon's problem now.
Well, you know, you read the article. I read the article you gave me that you know, he can remember Kelsey telling Tony, "Hey, man, make sure you take your time on this route," because he slipped in a route in practice earlier that week. Tony did it when Kadarius Toney did it. He ran the same play, but then he slipped on it on his way out in the motion. He slipped on it. He said, rather than slip, take your time and go through it. So
yeah, that's Kelsey was telling him. Yeah, just stay under control. Stay under control, because they knew that. That's amazing. It's amazing that was even a thing, you know, in a Super Bowl. So, all right, we're going to come back, guys. We're going to get into timelines and how critical it is to get this thing locked up with Jalen Hurts.
Yes,
in a quick manner, because everything is upon us, man, in terms of like transition tag, franchise tag, combine, free agency, draft. Everything is right here. So we'll get into all those kind of things, and we'll do a little stay go on the defensive side of the ball. Who stays, who goes. Yeah, Barry.
Is this President's Day?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Happy President's Day, everyone.
Happy President's Day. Celebrating some of the
you want me to sing the national anthem for you?
No, thanks.
Please don't do that. But yes, we do salute all of those who have what? Should we have a Gunner singing segment? I think we should do that.
No, 30-minute singing. No, that's
not 30's a lot. But you killed it. What song did you sing? You did. What was everybody? What did they want you to do? You remember when you sang that?
The first one I sang was
what kind of fool am I?
No, what you won't do. I sang. Oh my goodness, what's his name? The Christmas song.
Oh yeah,
White Christmas.
White Christmas, Nat King Cole. Yeah. You did something else though.
And I did What You Won't Do for Love, but his name is Caldwell.
That's right.
Yeah, can't think of his first name now. Dang it.
And that was sampled. That's been sampled a million times. That song. All right, let's get a timeout. We'll come back and we will dig into the Jalen Hurts immediacy of this deal and how it all shakes out. We'll give you the timelines too, and do a little stay go on the defensive side of the ball. He's Derek. He's Barrett. I'm Rob. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Time to tell you about Pro Action Restoration. Yeah, Pro Action Restoration is a lifeline, is a safety blanket, if you will. If you have a home, you have a business, you have a property you own, and you go through the inconvenience of water, of fire, of smoke, mold damage, you name it, to any property that you own, they're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. I can tell you this from personal experience because it happened at my parents' house. There was a finished basement. They had water damage downstairs. It was flooded. And Pro Action was right out there on a Saturday. They cleaned it up. The crew was professional. The price was reasonable. Pro Action Restoration is licensed, bonded, fully insured, and they've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company. So again, it could be water, it could be fire, it could be smoke, it could be mold remediation. You name it, they can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or you can reach out to them online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
Philadelphia fans, were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, We are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services. The first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
My name is Fran Salerno, and I'm a managing director here at Del Valle Insurance Group. Been in the business for over 36 years, saving people money on their insurance needs. Give us a call. Let us help you custom design an insurance plan that meets both your needs and budget.
Welcome back, everybody. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks. I'm Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, 3 hours of power, Monday through Friday, noon to 3 Eastern. Hanging out with you, talking some Eagles here. All right, guys. So timelines. Let me hit you with these. We talked about this a little bit last week, but it's right on us. So today's February 20th, and as Barrett pointed out, it is President's Day. But so February 21st through, which is tomorrow, through March 7th, is franchise transition tag designation. So this is where you can lay this on people if you feel like you're not going to be able to come to some kind of deal. There's a lot of speculation that New York, the Giants, might do this with Daniel Jones, who we'll get into in a little bit here. But they may end up franchise tagging him. There are reports out there. I'll just real quick on him. He's changed agents. And there are reports out there that he's looking for $45 million. If they give Daniel Jones $45 million, they deserve whatever happens to him from there on. Give me a break. You know,
exactly. Yes,
like
you're right.
He had a nice little bounce back, but you know, calm down, dude. You know, this guy's not a $45 million guy, but let's hope they do it. Okay.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring it up is that starts tomorrow. The combine's February 28th, 8 days from now. Free agent negotiating windows, which is like we call the legal tampering period, that starts March 13th. And then March 15th is the new league year. And then the draft's April 27th. So everything is really close here in proximity. Like we're getting really close. So decisions have to be made. When you have as many free agents as the Eagles have, there's a lot of stuff you got to sort out and figure out here.
Absolutely.
So are we seeing a Hurts deal come down in the next week or so, guys?
I'm saying yes. I'm thinking yes, simply because it's not just signing him, but it's also knowing how much money they're going to be allocated to put in each position.
Right.
What direction, this team is going. I mean, it's basically based on your quarterback and how much money you're going to give to him. When you look at the franchise tags and what their values are, what their values will be. On come this time, I think it's quarterbacks is 32.45,
right?
Running backs is 10.10, wide receivers 19.76, tight ends 11,036,000.
Wow.
Offensive linemen 18.26, defensive tackle 18.95, defensive ends 19.74. Linebackers, 20.95. Cornerbacks, 18.16. Safeties, 4.47. And special teamers are 5.40.
By the way, who's franchise tagging a linebacker for over $20 million a year?
There you go.
Hassan Reddick should be making that.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's Hassan Reddick. That's specially made for a guy like Hassan Reddick or TJ Watt.
Right.
You know, it's guys like that. You know, it's not necessarily, but that's what a franchise tag is. You're taking the top 5 contracts. The top 5 contracts average.
Yeah.
And that's what the franchise tag is.
Yeah, and look, man, it's I don't foresee that being the way the Eagles go with Jalen. I mean, they don't have to do that. Actually, he's got another year left. I'm sorry. They don't have the franchise tag. But I don't think that even happens if we're in the same position a year from now, which I don't think.
Can they franchise tag him?
No, they don't have to. He's under a rookie deal.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can tell a guy.
Until
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I'm saying, could they franchise tag him just to show him a little respect from, because he's only made a slot to make $4 million next year.
I'm not sure you can do that.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, because he's got one more real year left on the contract. You could do it with Daniel Jones because he's up. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Right. Jones was a first rounder, so he got the 4 years. You know, but anyway, you do have to do it pretty quickly. I'm not saying it's got to be tomorrow, but when you have all these defensive and offensive players that are free agents, I mean, look, Bradbury, Gardner Johnson, Edwards, White, Cox, Hargrave, Epps, Quinn, Graham, Joseph, Sue.
You know what I would do?
The defensive side of the ball.
You know what I would do? I'd franchise CJGJ.
You do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's only $14.47 million.
I don't think he'll play. You know what they'll do? He'll do, I'm not going to camp on a franchise tag like a lot of players do, and they'll work it out eventually. They'll get it worked out. But that's where I would start. It's franchising him. With Jalen, there's an urgency, but there really isn't in a lot of ways. Howie Roseman has already determined what the price is they want to pay. What's going to drag it out, if anything, is going back and forth with his agent. How much is guaranteed? How much is up front? How much is spread out over 3, 4, 5 years? Eagles might want 6 years. They only want 4 because we can revisit this after 3. So it's going to be a lot of serve and volley, you know, with this contract. He's going to get a certain number that we all, you know what the weird thing is, whatever number he gets, even if he's the highest paid quarterback in the league, we're not going to sit here and be wild by it because it's the going rate. We keep seeing these numbers go up every year. You know, when Kyler Murray, if Kyler Murray getting 45, what in the world is that? Yeah. Okay. So I don't think, like Rob said, it has to be done tomorrow. But I go back to what I said last week. And they gave Carson Wentz his money when he was still under contract. So you better doggone sure do the same for Jalen, because your owner's already said he has nothing left to prove. Okay, that's one check mark in the box. Now it comes down to negotiating the numbers. Howie is very good at identifying numbers for the next season before the current season is even underway. He knows they've looked like what we discuss every day about who's staying, who's going. He already knows that in September.
Yeah,
the mechanisms are working then. That's what
this didn't all of a sudden sneak up
man
on
does. No,
you know, he's known long in advance what this is, and especially as the season's gone on and Jalen's played the way that he's played.
Absolutely,
he's known. That's why I think this gets done in real short order. Like I don't foresee this being a long drug out process. They're absolutely going to get it done.
But if they do put it off to build that defense close, if they do make him play under that rookie contract and to build that defense to something close to what it was, it's going to be the topic of discussion every week from September to December, especially if he plays anywhere close to what he played this year. I don't rule it out. That's my last option. The nth degree final thing that I could see happening is Howie allowing Jalen to go into that 2023 season under his rookie contract because he put so much money back into trying to replenish the cupboards for his defense.
Yeah, I
don't think that's going to happen, but there's like 2% of me that would say I'm not surprised it happened.
No, I don't either. I mean, I'm just trying to think, when has that ever worked out well? It didn't last year with Lamar Jackson is the most recent example of this. You know, it didn't work out well for him. He got hurt.
Not at all. Yeah.
It never seems to work, and they know that. They know that better than anybody else. The Eagles, so they'll get this done. I mean, Howie didn't even duck it at all when he was asked about it.
Nope.
I won my captain back. Yeah, Captain Tony. I'm his franchise player, but yeah. when you look at, I mean, let me ask this to you. Do you guys think we need to franchise Miles Sanders?
Heck no.
No.
Heck no.
No.
All right.
I'm not franchising anybody.
Heck no. I'm not.
You better franchise David Lovato. No.
I wonder what that money is. What is that for?
$5.4 million.
Well, think about what John Dornbos got in his last year. I mean, they were paying him well for a long snapper. So I would say, like Barrett, like right around $4 or $5 million.
It's nice when you never have to worry about that position. It is.
But
nice.
but the thing is, it's weird as it sounds. We say $4 or $5 million is chump change by today's NBA standards, but it does eat up a percentage of the cap. And when you have so many people, you have to try to figure out what you're going to do or which direction to go in. You got to relook at that as well. And if Lovato says, well, you people have identified me as one of the best long snappers in the game, but I'm only the 12th highest paid long snapper, I don't want to sign this.
Right.
Why would you sign it?
And right now, I'm not saying that they're going to go in and franchise Hargraves, but I mean, that's too much. $18.26 million.
Now, let me give you one just to put in perspective here. Deshaun Watson's cap hit is $54.9 million.
Who?
Deshaun Watson with the Browns. It's 54.9. That's his cap hit. Yeah.
Woo!
I mean,
is that because it's guaranteed?
Yeah.
And they have to have all that money in escrow.
You know, and they shorted it on the front end because they knew he was going to get suspended.
Right.
That's part of it. You know, what a oof. I don't know how you keep operating that way with that. And now look, Jalen's is probably not going to be that far off, but man, that limits what you can do. That's for sure.
$54 million. We're talking Bear Brook neighborhood.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah, that is crazy. You know, just like Isaac Seumalo. At the least that Isaac Seumalo is going to get is about $60 million because look, Big V, Big V only started half the season.
They got what, 48?
And he got 50 over 5 years.
Yeah, he's out of here.
So Seumalo's going to get at least 60, 70. You know, so I mean, and somebody that played well, who's a Pro Bowl alternate also, and under the tutelage of the best offensive line coach in the league.
Yeah. This comes down to
Stoutland's getting people paid.
Well, it comes down to, does Kelsey retire? If he doesn't, Juergens is your starting guard.
Yeah.
You know, because Seumalo is going to walk, know, for sure.
Right.
All right. So let's do a little stay go on the defensive side of this thing. I'll just throw them at you. Tell me if you think they stay. Not that these guys aren't, deserving, but whether or not you think they're going to stay or go, because almost every name I'm going to read off to you is a really good player. All right. So you tell me if you think they're going to stay or go. Bradbury. Derek.
Gone. Plain and simple, gone.
Just too much of a cost for him and Slay.
Too much of a cost. You're not going to put that kind of money investment into two cornerbacks. And like I said, I'll say it again. I said it last week. Now, the only way I could see Bradbury staying, which again is like less than 1% from what I'm being told, 1%, is if they traded Slay. And there is a possibility they could use Slay as trade bait as well. So that means you're down Slay and Bradbury.
Right.
So I would say right now, as we sit here today, Bradbury's gone. Gone. Okay. Yep.
Barrett, you feel the same way?
I do. Because he deserves the amount of money he's about to make in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he was a slug. He's probably our best corner to play this year. So when you think about it in that aspect, he's always ranked in the top as far as pass defense.
Yep.
So he's not gonna get the money we see. What is it for the DBs? It's 18.6.
Yeah,
but he's going to be right around there. Right now, we got a bargain basement price of $10 million.
Okay.
He's going to make at the very least 16 mil a year on a long-term deal. So we're talking about he's going to sign somewhere around probably 70 million over 4 years, 5 years. Yeah. We built the lives like that? Nah, we ain't paying that much. No, okay. There's no way how he does.
CJGJ, start with you on this one, Barrett.
I think he will be around. I'm gonna say yes. They're gonna figure out a way to keep him around. He's that good of an impact player. We traded for him. Was it a 4th rounder for him?
Yeah.
We traded a 4th rounder for him. And I really think that he's only scratched the surface on how good he could be at safety position. We already know he can play slot, but he could be that Swiss Army knife for the defense, and he could play both at, during the same game. He could play the slot, and we saw what a great safety can do on a defense when we had Malcolm. So I think that they will pay him. They might pony up and pay him. And that's because, at this point, look on our roster. Right now we have Kayvon Wallace and Reed Blankenship's the only two guys that are on the roster to play safety.
Yeah, you're thin there.
Yeah,
that's fair. Derek, what do you think?
They don't have any picks right now as we sit here in rounds 4, 5, and 6. You keep a CJ, that solves the problem. Now you got to develop somebody else, but who you getting? Because you have so many other needs with those first 4 picks. Top 94 picks. You may have 4 starters. You may have 4 starters coming out of this draft for the Eagles, to be honest with you. I think there's no question that CJ stays. He gives them, as Barrett said, he gives you everything you want in terms of not just playing the back end, but being able to come up. And he hits. He's not one of these safeties that just rolls the shoulder. He hits. It's a rarity is to have a safety that can cover that kind of ground like he can and hit on top of that. So I think he's a definite stay. It's going to cost him, but like I said, you got one of the best in the game, and Howie Roseman figuring this stuff out right now. Even as we speak, the wheels are spinning behind closed doors over at the NovaCare complex in terms of what they can do, what they want to do, and what they're going to be able to do with the number of players. CJ's at the top of that list of players that it's adamant that you keep him here.
He's back, man. I mean, with the interception rate, with the way he can hit, with the flexibility that you can throw him at the slot spot too. He's too valuable, man. He's
way too valuable.
My only concern is, and it happens all the time, Barrett ran down the numbers, what an average player makes at each position. Somebody's going to be coming in out of the dark and offer money that make you say, oh, what?
Yeah.
And then the Eagles are going to have to try to counter.
Yep.
D-Gun.
It always happens.
D-Gun. They're not coming out of the dark. They're coming with flashlights on, and look, we want him now. They're not hiding anything. They're going to throw it out there, bro. And he's going to have a pick of just about wherever he wants to go. I mean,
that's true.
What was the other? If you look at the safeties that are going to be on the market this year, I think the top 2 safeties are probably CJ GJ and the Bates from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Those will probably be the top 2 safeties.
Well, here's the only reason why I say that as of right now. The Bears have almost $95 million in cap space. The Falcons have $57 million. Excuse me. The Raiders have $48 million. The Giants have $47 million. The Texans have $37 million. So let's see. If I'm C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I wouldn't mind playing in a DeMeco Ryans defense. His pedigree speaks for itself. I wouldn't mind playing in a Wink Martindale defense.
Yeah, I hear you.
At all.
Let's let Gunner, get a drink, man. If you got to pop off for a minute, pop off. Go ahead. There you go.
Oh, hold on. Now, see, here's the top free agent guys. Jesse Bates.
Yep.
He's number 1. Jordan Poyer's number 2. Jimmy Ward. Adrian Amos. Devin McCourty.
A couple of those guys are up there, man.
Right. Eric Rowe. Yeah.
They're all up there.
Yeah, all these guys are
not
up there.
Bates or CJ GJ, but the others.
Right. Yeah, so I mean he's up there with these top guys. I say the top 2 are Bates and Poyer. I don't see Jimmy Ward as one of the top guys. You know what I'm saying? Or Adrian Amos. I mean, that's your guy from Green Bay. You think he's one of the top safeties?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, over CJ GJ?
No. You said one of the tops. I didn't say over him.
Oh, okay.
But when you say one of the tops, you need to put CJ in that financial category. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I would take Adrian.
Like he's a top CJ. 5 guy. Yeah, it's a top.
Absolutely.
He's the top 5 guy. Yeah.
So if I'm Adrian's representatives, if I'm CJ's representatives, I'm saying exactly what you said. Here's what the top 5 safeties in the game right now are getting.
Mm-hmm.
I just read you the numbers from over the cap of what the cap space looks like for 4 or 5 different teams. Okay. And 2 of those teams have well-respected defensive coordinators. Houston, Go to Houston, I'm playing in a dome. I'm playing in a warm weather city. Majority of my games will be played in controlled environments, number one. I'm playing for one of the best defensive minds in the game, and D'Amico Ryans, number two. Secondly, Wink Martindale, I know what he did in Baltimore. I know what he did with this Giants defense with lesser talent. I could go to New York and help them stabilize the back end of their defense for a lot more money than the Eagles are offering me right now.
Yeah.
I have two viable now. The problem is the from a management standpoint, the 4 or 5 names that you just mentioned, those teams will use those as bark. Oh, you don't want to come here for what we're offering you? Oh, well, then we'll go out and get Adrian Amos, so we can go out and get so-and-so. Now you got to make a business decision. But the numbers are still going to be up there, maybe more than the Eagles can afford or budget it for a safety.
All right, this is what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson made last year. $826,000.
That was his base salary. What about incentives and stuff?
He didn't have any incentives. This was his rookie deal.
Wait, he had no – whoa. He had no incentives on his deal. Let's see, teams. Let me go to teams.
They say they calculate his market value is $13.3 million a year.
And rightfully so.
That's his calculated.
So
his calculated value is 5 years, $66 million. That's the market value that he's garnering right now.
Interesting.
Is that ridiculous or what?
It's 13. Yeah.
Wow.
Where is he?
Jesse Bates is only $14 million.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at 4 years, $56 million at $14 million a year. That's the project. These are all projections from Spot Track.
Yeah. And they're dead on with this stuff. And Dan Sills brings up an interesting point. You watch Indy, Arizona offer a lot for these Eagles free agents. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
That's a good point.
See where both of those teams are cap-wise. But
let's see. Arizona right now.
He's already grabbed up Nick Rallis. We'll see who else they end up trying to pilfer here.
Right now, Arizona has $13.7 million in cap space, which will be a lot more once they delete some more salaries from that.
So that quarterback's sitting there. That's what it is. See, that quarterback's sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let me hit you with a couple others, then we'll do. We'll save the offense for tomorrow. TJ Edwards. I think he's back because I think you get him at a reasonable price.
Yes, I think so also. And when you look at it, he's a Mike linebacker, and they're not as valued as the outside rush linebackers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
okay.
The box linebackers. I'm trying to see where what the market value for those guys are.
Let's see. Interior linebacker. Where are we here?
Levante David's a free agent. Oh, his market value. Let me see what he is now. He's a proven starter play. He's a little older though. But his mark is $9.7 million. That's his projection to make a year. Devin Bush from the Steelers. All right, his market value now $3 million. So it varies in between those two. He'll be right in between those two as far as the amount of money he's going to be made. You got a guy like Tremont Edmonds from Buffalo. His market value is $11 million. Mm-hmm. He's looking to sign a 4-year deal for about $44 million a year.
I don't think you have to give Edwards that much anywhere.
Okay,
exactly.
Let's look at it from this perspective. Now, this is the total value of the top linebackers contracts in the NFL right now, as we know it. Okay. Now, obviously, he's not Roquan Smith. His value is $100 million. He ain't getting that kind of money.
No.
Shaquille Leonard's 98.5. Fred Warner 95.2. C.J. Mosley 85. Dude from Jacksonville's 45. Deion Jones 57 from Cleveland. Shaq Thompson 54 from the Panthers.
Yep.
Jerome Baker 37.5. Levante David right now, his total deals was $25 million. He's 33 years old. So where does T.J. Edwards fits in? Is he better than Miles Jack of the Steelers?
Right around the same guy.
Okay, that contract now, that's only $16 million. He's 28 years old. Okay. Now I'm sure he's an unrestricted free agent in 2024. What about Isaiah Simmons of the Cardinals? He has $20 million left on his deal.
Yeah.
I mean, so where Where does TJ fall in? I think it is based on what is a coordinator looking for in an inside linebacker.
Absolutely.
What traits is he looking for? And TJ provides a lot of positives over his negatives.
Sure he does.
Okay.
All right, let's go Kaiser White, who came over on a 1 year at cheapie. What was he make? I think he made 5 this year.
Yeah,
something crazy like that.
With the Chargers, and the Chargers were bemoaning him leaving. They didn't want him to leave, but he just cost too much.
Does he make more than TJ Edwards? That's what we got to think about.
I don't think he's back.
I don't either.
And he's a little undersized, worn down a little bit as the season went on.
We already had that same guy in the building.
Yeah, with the Kobe Dean.
Yeah, but you look at a lot of the weak side backers, they're smaller backers that can run and can cover. And Kaiser White fits that bill, which increases his value. See, even though he played inconsistent, the best thing that happened for these Eagles free agents, they played for a defense that racked up these incredible numbers. And their representatives are going to use that in terms of leverage when they start shopping their players around. And I don't blame them one bit.
Yeah,
it's exactly what you do. Now, whether we think, because we talked about it, Kazir disappeared a number of times in games, but the bottom line is Chargers didn't want him to leave. He's considered a very good weak side linebacker, and he can run. I mean, look how he chased down Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes broke off that 26-yard run to put him in the game-winning field goal position. There are many linebackers that can run like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a value for that. What's that value? That will be determined by a team desperate enough. I can see a team like Atlanta overspending for Kaiser White. Teams like that. Teams that you don't think are playoff teams, but those teams feel if we get 1 or 2 players at strategic positions, it'll make us that much better. Somebody always overpays for somebody. We know that's going to happen. Are the Eagles going to buckle and match? It can't. Financially, they can't. As great as this past season was, now you're in the salary cap doldrums because you got to pay your quarterback.
Yeah.
And everybody else left to get what's left over. Plain and simple.
I hear you. I want to touch on this. Now, let's do it when we come back. So part of and we'll pick up, believe me, we're not done with the stay go thing. We'll continue the defense when we come back. But the other interesting nugget from all the Peter King stuff is that the Eagles offered, apparently, according to Jonathan Gannon, they offered him more money, a new contract, more money than NFL head coaches are being paid to stay. For as much as people aren't fans of his, the organization clearly is. So we'll talk about that when we come back. He's Derek. He's Barrett. I'm Rob. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, I want to tell you right now about Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. They are experts at trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Now, keep in mind, we're in that time of year right now where the weather can be, sketchy at times, sometimes nice. It's a good time to have your trees evaluated before the real heavy stuff hits. You don't want to have any of those kind of issues with branches or trees coming down. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Philadelphia fans. We're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at JAKIB. At JAKIB we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing, the second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs, and then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give JAKIB a call or check us out online.
My name is Fran Salerno, and I'm a managing director here at Del Valle Insurance Group. Been in the business for over 36 years, saving people money on their insurance needs. Give us a call. Let us help you custom design an insurance plan that meets both your needs and budget.
Back. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Thanks for hanging with us on this President's Day, everybody. All right, guys. So the other nugget in Peter King's column today, Football Morning in America, was that the Eagles offered Jonathan Gannon, according to Gannon, head coach money to stay and ripping up his contract. If that's correct, and he's getting more as a coordinator than some head coaches are getting out there. I don't blame the guy one bit for taking the head coaching job. There's only so many of them. And you're confident enough in yourself that you think you get it turned around, despite some of the challenges that he's going to face in Arizona. He's going to face a lot of them. But damn, that's a pretty bold statement if the Eagles were willing to go that high just to keep him around. Derek's face. I don't know. Derek's face tells me something's going on here.
Right. I don't know if that's necessarily true, man.
Okay. Now, it could be a little hyperbole from Gannon, but he said it according to Peter King. So what are we thinking here?
There's no way under the sun. I believe Howie Roseman asked that dude to stay here for head coaching money as a coordinator. There's no way. That would be a setback to what Howie has accomplished over the last couple of years. I don't care how good those numbers looked on paper. Did you watch games? There's no way I'm bringing Jonathan Gannon back here for anything close to that kind of money. Thank you, Jonathan, for saying no and moving on to Arizona. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't know, man. Like I'm with you guys. There's a little cynicism for me that he would, and I don't know what the semantics are. Is he talking about what some interim coach was getting paid to take over and just get through the rest of the year last year, or? Right. Are we talking big boy Belichick money? I don't know what we're talking about here, but clearly, I don't know. It seems like there was some serious value there that they felt like the guy, as much as everybody dumps on him.
Well, head coach money, what, 3.5? You give a coordinator.
It depends. It depends where you're shopping.
It depends on who it is. Yeah. That's most coordinators rate right around about $1 million.
No, yeah, but he's saying as much as a head coach.
That's what I'm saying. So, am I believing that? I can't say that I'm believing that. I can't say it. Yeah.
I need to get an answer, so I just put the question out there. I've got to get an answer to this. I can't believe for a minute that they offer that kind of money to Gannon. When in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles have they offered any coach close to head coaching money?
Right now, O-line coach is making some pretty good money.
A good O-line coach is making $3.5
million.
Yes, which is
no.
What are they making now?
1.5, something like that. No, I mean, a great offensive line coach is probably making like $1 million, $1.5 million. No, probably around $1 million. Most coaches make under $1 million a year. Most of them do. All the coaches like that, they make right around anywhere from 750, depending on who you are, up to like 1.2, 1.3. If I'm not mistaken, you know what I'm saying? They're not making that money like, $3 million some dollars. No, that's head coach money, bro. That's definitely head coach money. And when you look at it, it's crazy because you look at college coaches are actually making more than NFL coaches now.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the program, yeah.
Right. Like right now, Alabama's head coach is making twice more than Gannon. Twice more than Nick Sirianni. Twice more.
Yeah, what's he making? 11, or is it more than that now?
Almost 12. No, it's 12 now because there was another coach got a raise and was making more than him, and he's got in his contract he's going to be the highest paid coach in college football.
Yeah,
he has to be.
Makes sense. All right. Well, look, let us know what you hear, Derek, on that one. That'll be interesting to see where that falls. Let's pick it back up here with Stay or Go. Javon Hargrave, who was in double-digit sacks this past year from the interior defensive line, was a guy who, I think maybe his career started a little bit slowly once the Eagles signed him from Pittsburgh, but certainly over the last year or so has picked it up in a massive way and was a huge contributor to this team. He is 30. Barrett, what do you think? I think Hargrave's back. I think Hargrave and CJGJ are the two that are coming back. That are.
I don't know, man. To me, it's tough to say Hargrave is going to be back because the linemen are getting paid, man, paid, and we're talking about upwards of about $15 to $16 million. Probably more than that. He signed a 3-year, $30 million deal 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to only go up from here, especially with the numbers that he put up. So
great numbers. The only thing he's 3 years older, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so you're right, man. They're gonna want to sign him back, but can they sign him back for over $16-17 million a year?
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah.
But, is there that market to pay him that much, you think, out there?
It will be. It will be because he's versatile enough. He plays both defense. He can play a 4-down defense and a 3-down defense. A 2-gap defense versus a 1-gap defense. He's played both of them. He's played both of them at a high level. So, he wreaked havoc this entire year, man. He wreaked havoc.
Yeah.
Sacks don't necessarily mean production, and he was producing for the major part of the year. He was the best down lineman we had. Does he deserve it? Yes, he does.
Yeah, I hear you. What do you think, Derek?
That's a tough one for me. That's a tough one because there are teams that love to pay D linemen big money, especially when you've had the type of year he's had. He's a priority, absolutely. But I don't know if the Eagles are willing to go beyond what they've already allotted on the books right now going forward for a D tackle. When you're talking about linebacker, safety, cornerback, that's a lot of money to invest in a D tackle.
Yeah.
Now, if you can get him to come back here on a 1-year deal, I don't see him coming back here on a 1-year deal.
Why would he take 1 year?
I don't know. I'm just saying, but I don't see it happening. Yeah. I don't know. I'm on the fence with that one. Hargrave coming back, it depends on what day of the week it is. I go back and forth with that one.
I think they'll figure out a way to get him back in CJGJ. Marcus Epps. Barrett, I know you like him a lot.
Yes, I do. I think they will sign him back, especially since the safety position is not one of the big name positions that really get paid these days. Will they give him a contract that's below market value? Yes. Will he accept it? I think he will. Just because he's cut himself into being a starter here. You know what I'm saying? He cut himself into being a really good player here. So I can see him staying here because of that. Homegrown.
Yeah, like he feels like he comes back on a cheap deal. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that coveted on the open market. So I think he's going to come back. The Eagles like what he brings to the table, and I think he does. I think he returns for relatively cheap number.
Wow. Let's see. Houston, Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit are all teams where Marcus Epps could go and make a decent coin. Those are teams sending out the SOS for all types of talent. And where do you start? The team with the best numbers across the board in the NFL. And Marcus Epps had a pretty good year this year. He would be one of those guys you could go back and forth with. He might want to stay here because he's familiar here, although there's the uncertainty of who's taking over this defense and how do I fit in. That is another tough one. I don't know. I'm not as sure. If I had to break it down in percentage, I'd say I'm 65% sure he will be back. But there's a lot of desperate teams that need to shore up the back end of the defenses, and he would provide a bit of stability. I never thought Jalen Mills would get the kind of money he got from the Patriots. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot, but it was still more than what I thought the Patriots were willing to pay him, and Eagles let him walk, and they like Jalen Mills.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's a tough one.
Okay. All right.
A lot of the stream thinks that they think that Epps is not a.
They say he's trash and all that. Say he's a bum and all this. I don't know. It depends. Who's coaching him?
Right.
I mean, who's coaching him up?
Yeah. All right, let's go with a couple of the older guys, Sue and Joseph, who they brought in. Midway through.
Not in training camp.
Yeah,
not in training camp. Not. It'll be later on. It'll be during the season. Yeah. If they have a problem starting to run, they'll keep them in their Rolodex. I don't see them signing those guys to. They're ring chasing right now. Well, I know Sue is. I doubt Sue comes back again. I think Sue's just going to stay retired this time because he felt this was his best opportunity to get a ring. He didn't get it. So he might just say, man, forget it. I'm not doing this anymore. I can see him doing that.
Yeah, Joseph, maybe a little bit more realistic, but certainly not there. He's a break glass in case of emergency guy.
Yeah. Yep. That's a great analogy what you said.
Okay. I think that's fair. It's kind of the way this year played out. And then look, if somebody else on the open market wants to pay him, he gets paid. He goes elsewhere. Yep. All right. We talked about Brandon Graham a lot. Let's just quickly hit it. I think we're all in agreement that he wants to be here, which means could he get every last dime somewhere else? Maybe. But ultimately, does he want to do that at this juncture in his career? Because he's also, think about this too, guys. He's really building a brand for himself off the field also, in the media with other stuff that he does. And I know the money isn't comparable of what he's getting from that, but he's looking at it long-term of what he's going to be able to do. We've seen guys do that before in the city. Barrett, certainly you're a guy who's, gone down that road also. But I think that also plays into it too. Like he goes somewhere else and it's like he's not as popular in town. He's maybe not appearing on all the shows like he would here and all those kind of things. So I think Brandon Graham's back, and I think he's back at a pretty reasonable rate for the production he gave him last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, you're talking about a guy that has, he's a town favorite. You know what I'm saying? He'll be in our industry when it's all over with. And why leave this place when he can still be making money? It's not like he's hurting for money. He loves money. He loves the money he's making right now. But I really believe he'll give him a discount just to stay here. He's familiar with here. His family's here. He understands what it is to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Why not stay here and retire in the team that drafted him? That'd be a storybook ending. That'd be pretty good.
How about you, Derek?
Ike Reese left here. Hugh Douglas left here. They're all back. They're back here now. Okay.
Good point.
This is a city. If they embrace you as a player, you can go away and come back. Brandon Graham's legacy is etched in stone because of one play his entire career. That strip sack he made in Super Bowl 52 on Tom Brady to help the Eagles get over the hump. If Brandon Graham left here for 2 years and decided to come back, they will still roll out the red carpet for him. And I'm talking about in terms of job opportunities in the media. Brandon Graham can do what he wants to do, but Brandon Graham doesn't want to go somewhere else and play on a one-year deal to finish out his career in an environment that is not conducive to his lifestyle, may not have the same culture he's had here in Philadelphia for years. Anytime a player openly tells you, I'll take a family discount, that bodes well for him in terms of trying to stay. It's a rarity, number one, for a defensive lineman to be with the same organization for as long as he had, first and foremost.
A player, period.
Yeah, unless you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
And even the greats like Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, they all finished their career somewhere else.
Yep.
So he gives his organization what they love is a player, a locker room guy, and a community guy. He covers all the check marks for what they want.
Yep.
And because they know he won't complain about playing time, he's a perfect fit for this team. He could have gone years ago to the Giants for more money, and he signed for less money to stay here. It was a 3 or 4 year deal. So that tells me even back then, it wasn't about the money. It was about his comfort level. So I would say they're going to find a way to bring Brandon Graham back. Brandon Graham won't be a financial priority to them. Now, even if they sign him before they sign some of these other players we're talking about, because the negotiations are much lengthier with a CJ or somebody like that, he is not a financial concern to them. He will have like a low-tier veteran contract with incentives thrown in there. So I'll say right now, he'll be back this year.
All right. I'll throw this one at you, but I only do it just because he is legitimately a free agent, but I think we're all in agreement. Robert Quinn.
Yeah. You're not going to get a response out of me, bro.
Here's the only question. I think we're all in agreement. Yeah, he's out. But how do you go from 18 and a half sacks to this? What happened?
What did I tell you?
I know, but that extreme? It couldn't have gone to 6, 5.
You can at least kiss us.
Yeah,
you didn't kiss us.
Oh man!
I told you guys when they made the trade.
Yeah, I got you. Oh my God!
Robert Quinn was the Bears felt that they fleeced the Eagles in that one.
They did, and it's rare that Howie loses like that. That one that's an L.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
The Bears got him that time. Robert Quinn. Did. The only reason Robert Quinn comes back here is because he forgot something in his locker. That's it.
Oh, did I leave that? Oh, let me
that's the only reason he's coming back here. In terms of playing for this team, not gonna do it.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll send it to you. Don't worry about it.
We'll FedEx it. All right, so we'll come back. NFL talk, guys. We'll dig in on a lot of movement with coordinators. Some other guys interviewing of note. Bigger names and whatnot. So we'll dive into that. We're also going to revisit our top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Top 5. We haven't done a power ranking in a minute, so we'll circle back to the quarterbacks when we return. So don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis hanging with you on this President's Monday. Let's talk about Razor Technology and data estate. Data is everywhere in business today, but when it's locked away in silos, it can't be efficiently used, and businesses don't have time to wait for the insights that shape decision-making. Razor Technology's data management not only integrates data from wherever it's generated or collected, but provides a uniform structure for storing, interpreting, and distributing it to decision makers. Razor helps businesses transform and model their data, use it to populate real-time dashboards, and create shareable reports that highlight key areas of progress as well as warning signs in need of attention. Smart data analytics and the tools that make data insights easily digestible help businesses of all sizes and types discover where they could be untapping significant savings. Razor Technology can help you break down your silos and fully realize the value of your data to drive growth for your business. To learn more, contact Razor Technology today at 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
Philadelphia fans. We're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at JAKIB. At JAKIB we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give JAKIB a call or check us out online.
My name is Fran Salerno, and I'm a managing director here at Del Valle Insurance Group. Been in the business for over 36 years, saving people money on their insurance needs. Give us a call. Let us help you custom design an insurance plan that meets both your needs and budget.
What's up, everybody? Hour number 3 of the program. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Sports Take on this President's Day. Hope you, if you're off, hope you're relaxing, enjoying the day and taking it all in. We have really good weather in the area that we live right now. At least we'll see. I've heard some reports.
73 degrees coming up, man.
Yeah, I heard some reports we may get snow, not this week, but next week. Who knows?
What? What?
I'm just saying what I heard. I don't know.
I actually heard on Saturday.
Yeah.
On Friday, either Friday or Saturday, we might get snow. But then it'll be back up. It'll be 70, and then 2 days later, it's going to be snowing. And then a day after that, 2 days after that, it'll be like 60 degrees. I don't know what's going on.
That's what it's been. It's been like these wild swings. Like Friday, it was rainy, but during the day here, it was pretty unseasonably warm. And then by the nighttime, it was cold and windy. If anybody was out, but it's just kind of where it's been. It's been a roller coaster.
Why are you guys playing with me like that, man? Why you guys? I'm looking at the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10-day forecast for my area. 43, 60 today, 58 tomorrow, 43 Wednesday. See, that's why people getting sick, man. All these weather changes. 74 on Thursday, 60 on Friday, 38 and cloudy on Saturday. Sunday, 51. Next Monday, 40. Next Tuesday, 47. Next Wednesday, 48. There's no snow in this particular forecast. Y'all trying to play Jedi mind tricks with me, aren't you?
I like to keep you doing. I need you on your toes.
You almost got me. Both. You both got me. You almost got me there. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk some NFL here. It's official. Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator in Washington. You know, we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. I think it was actually right before you jumped on, Derek. And I'm trying to come to grips with this. Like, you know, either this is just the obvious old boy network and, you know, some of the issues that we talked about with the NFL, with diversity and whatnot, or he's got to be the worst interview ever. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of this. You know, I'm leaning more towards his old boys network, but how does this guy of anybody not get a chance with the success that they've had?
It's actually so disrespectful in the aspect that what is he doing that would outshine any team, giving him an opportunity to come in and coach their team when he has the track record and results of greatness?
And the thing is, one of the counters that people say is, well, he's working under Andy Reid and he's got Mahomes. That didn't hurt other guys.
No, it
didn't hurt Nagy.
Guys with Lester. It didn't hurt Adam Gase, Nagy, Cliff Kingsbury. None of those guys, it didn't hurt them.
Not Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson didn't hurt him, did it?
Oh, and look at this though. What pisses me off is it's not just from, all right, he's offensive coordinator there. You know, he just has Andy there. But look about when he was a running back coach. Go back to Minnesota. He had 2,000-yard seasons under his belt.
Yep.
He had AP. Come on, man. He's had guys that he's put, you know what I'm saying, on a top level. It's not like he's had slouches. He's made slouches. He has done a lot of good where he's been, bro. Everywhere he's been. Yeah. He's done a lot of good.
And I know he had some run-ins when he was younger and all that, but like again, we've seen guys with worse stuff.
Yes.
You know, Vance Joseph has had some stuff in his background. I started digging into him a little bit today, and it hasn't seemed to.
They played together in Colorado. They played together.
Yeah.
Now, as much as I like a D'Amico Ryans, he was only a coordinator for 2 seasons. He got a head coaching job.
Yeah. But the same thing with our coordinators. Neither one of our coordinators. Well, no, I'll take that back. Steichen was an offensive coordinator. Was it in San Diego?
San Diego. Yep.
But I mean, Gannon wasn't a coordinator. Gannon was a DB's coach.
Yep. What about John Harbaugh? Special teams to DBs to head coach? Really? Well, I mean, I don't. This is one of the greatest mysteries ever. Now, kudos to Andy, because Andy didn't have to let him go.
He didn't. He could have roadblocked it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously Washington had to attach assistant head coach, which is considered a move up from just being a coordinator. I get it. So kudos to Andy for allowing him to move on. But this is one of the biggest mysteries I've ever seen in terms of why a guy continuously gets overpassed for a head coaching job.
Yeah. Now the offshoot is he's in DC, and you know, from an Eagles perspective, you got a really good coordinator, really sharp guy there now.
Absolutely.
You know, with weapons, if they could figure out a quarterback, because they have really good receivers.
Yeah.
They have good running back, you know, pretty good tight end.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's set up to succeed, but he does, and this goes for anybody. You need a quarterback, man. It's all well and good. You could scheme up the best plays ever. If you don't have a guy to execute it, it doesn't matter. So, well, you know, we'll see what happens there. The thought is that Nagy, who returned there after he got canned in Chicago, would get the offensive. He'd be elevated to offensive coordinator, is what the thought is, which makes sense. I mean, he's already in house there in Kansas City.
Well,
he's tight with Mahomes. They have a great relationship.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you know, I'm just like, and I don't know Eric Bieniemy. I've never met him before. It's just that it's like gut wrenching that we keep talking about this with the success that team has had in the last 5 years.
I texted him 2 days ago to congratulate him, and he texted me back, you know, hey man, appreciate it, you know, yada yada yada. And I didn't ask him, but rest assured, I'm going to ask him to see what's really going on. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to do that.
Okay, yeah, I would love to hear if there's something we're missing here.
Right.
What the heck's happening? Because think about it. As an assistant, it makes zero sense that you would go from an incredible setup with a Super Bowl champion team, a great head coach, stability, great GM, a future potential GOAT quarterback, a tight end, maybe a GOAT tight end. It doesn't get much better. But you got to go leave and essentially do the same thing at another job. And I know they gave him a title and probably bumped the salary. I get it. But still, something's wrong there somewhere.
When you walk into the wealth of talent that he has at his disposal right now, minus the quarterback, Terry McLaurin, J.D. McKissick, you know, Johan Dotson, Curtis Samuels, Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas, and you're taking over a offense that was 22nd in offense and 26th in points scored, there's nowhere to go but up. But you are in a trick bag because you don't know who your quarterback is. I cannot believe as we sit here that they're going to stay committed to this young, untested quarterback when you have the weapons to blow up right now. And now that you have one of these so-called – it's funny, he's identified as one of the best offensive minds in the game, but yet he has to take small increments of increases in his career compared to others. If Washington's offense is a top 10 offense this year, he will be one and done in DC. You cannot overlook him anymore.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what else. Yeah, what else?
There's nothing else you can do.
Right.
If you take the 22nd offense and 26th in points and put them in the top 10 in offense and the top 10 or 12 in points scored, there's nobody that can deny you a head coaching job after this.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you.
It'll be laughable then, you know.
Yes.
All right. So a couple other things. And I say, I hope he gets this job so I don't have to watch him on TV anymore. Rex Ryan interviewing with the Broncos. Please, let's make this happen. Sean Payton, whatever I got to do, I'll make it happen. I can't stand him on TV. I can't stand him, period. There is nothing. He revolts me, Rex Ryan. Okay.
He revolts me.
He does.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't. He's brutal. I won't watch him. He turns me off so badly from ESPN, any of their, and I don't love their cast of characters anyway, but he is the ultimate turnoff. So anyway, he hasn't been a coordinator or a coach in a while. He's been in the media for a long time now, but Sean Payton interviewing Rex Ryan.
You know what? He like him a lot. You hate him as a head coach, but you got to respect what he does as defensive coordinator. I mean, his defenses, even when he was a head coach, were tops, man. You know, that I played against that Jets defense, and they were some dogs, man. He gives them that mentality. I don't know what he has or what he's been doing as far as, you know, why he's out of the league, but I knew that he could call a defense. So I know Andy would hate it. I'd rest assured that Andy would hate it, and a lot of other coaches would hate it if he came back into the league.
It's the thing, you know what you're getting, because he's not going to be some quiet coordinator.
No, I mean,
Sean Payton just know what it is.
To have both Sean Payton and Rex Ryan as your coordinators on the same team with the wealth of talent they have on offense is 10 times better than the combination of Daboll and Martindale, who had no talent basically on their team. I shouldn't say no talent, but marginal talent. You walk into a gold mine of talent with that on both sides of the football, for that matter,
especially defensively. They're loaded.
You know, and man, that would serve notice more so than any player they could bring in there. Sean Payton and Rex Ryan, to go along with what they have, because we agree, we believe that Sean Payton can turn Russell Wilson around. And if you have a guy with the pedigree of Rex Ryan coaching your defense, it's not a bad way to go. Not a bad way at all to go.
We'll see what happens there with Rex and and Vance Joseph is also a candidate, even though that's kind of a strange situation. But he is still a candidate as well for that gig.
How does he keep getting all these interviews? How's that possible?
He does get a lot. Yeah, you're right. He does get a lot. That's for sure.
Who?
Vance Joseph.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones has switched agents. We touched on this earlier. He went from CAA to Athletes First, and the reports are he wants in the neighborhood of about 35 million now, 35 to 45 million. Jeez. The franchise tag, Barrett talked about it earlier, is like 32 for quarterbacks. He wants 45, to be clear. March 7th is the deadline to use that franchise tag. If I'm New York, I probably am tagging him. Yes. I don't want to give him long term.
Nope.
I get through another year, and if he shows me again that he's gotten better, okay, then maybe. But
you don't want to hook your wagon to him, though.
I'm not there yet.
You wouldn't hook your wagon to him?
No.
I wouldn't.
Do you think they maximize, everything from him this last?
I give him a lot of credit in that he other than Saquon, he did not have great weapons. So I'm not taking anything like that away from him. But
yes,
I need to see him this year. I think it's a smart idea. Give him a couple receivers.
Yep.
And let's see if he can look like the upper tier guys. If that's the case, okay. We can figure that out down the line. I don't know what New York's going to do. They have to take care of him and Saquon Barkley. I haven't really dug into what the other side of the ball looks like for them. And they got to get some weapons. So they better have some cap money.
No question about it. Man, I can't wait to see what transpires this free agency. I think more so than anything in the last several years, because there are so many teams in gray areas. Money's going to be flowing like it always does. That first 3 to 5 days in free agency, there's going to be a feeding frenzy on potential players moving and going and coming in this league. And unfortunately, that entails a lot of Eagles players.
Yep.
But we're gonna see a whole lot of wow factors. I mean, go back to Christian Kirk. Nobody ever thought Christian Kirk deserved $72 million, but in the latter part of the season, he proved he was worth every dollar that they spent on him. And I can see that happening. There are a lot of players that are going to get overpaid they're going to have to sink or swim to justify those teams paying them that kind of money.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
The Panthers have hired Thomas Brown as their offensive coordinator. He was previously under Sean McVay, working with tight ends and associate head coach. He is an up-and-comer who has gotten a lot of praise around the league. A lot of people liked him. By all accounts, we'll see what ends up happening. Again, they don't have a quarterback either, but everybody universally is talking about the staff that Reich's hired.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, it's a pretty loaded bunch.
Jim Caldwell, Deuce Staley, Josh McCown, and they hired D'Angelo Hall as a defensive assistant.
Yep.
And now there's Thomas Brown, dude. I mean, wow. Here's a team. It has the pieces.
Yeah.
You just need to be put in the right direction. It starts with a quarterback, Who knows?
Did Raheem Morris leave
the Rams?
That coaching exodus?
I believe he's still there. Let me see. I think he's still there.
Oh, yeah, he's there.
He's still on the roster.
Yeah, he's still there.
He
stayed. Yeah, he stayed.
He's another one to keep your eye on, though.
Right.
At some point.
Wow.
So, he's the Rams defensive coordinator presently. He was the defensive coordinator, interim coach with the Falcons the year before, but he's still with this is his 2 years he's been with the Rams now as a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still there. Joe Woods has been hired as the Saints offensive coordinator. He'll go down there with Dennis Allen. So they bring him in. Familiar refrain. They don't have a quarterback either. But I don't know what they end up doing in New Orleans. I think they're good. They would probably be in play for one of these veterans, you would think.
Well, I believe they still have what's his name? Jameis Winston for one more year.
Yeah, they do
But
have
still,
James. They have
James-
both of them. Both of them are.
Andy Dalton also?
Yeah, Andy Dalton and
wow.
they're still there. They're still there.
But the thing is, I don't even when Jameis Winston was back and healthy, they didn't start him.
Right.
It seems like they've soured on him.
I think he's soured on himself. He just, you got to make that. You got to make that jump, man. And I've been there before, man. You know what I'm saying? That just need one little thing to keep you from getting into the lineup, and it's hard to get up off that bench, man. So he had to do more, and he didn't do enough.
Yeah.
He just didn't do enough.
Yeah. Yep. No question about it. All right. Other than that, it's been a lot of sort of quarterback moves. This one's interesting. The Chargers defensive coordinator has made the jump over to join Vic Fangio. Ronaldo Hill is leaving the Chargers to reunite with Vic Fangio and become the defensive pass game coordinator. So you go from defensive coordinator with the Chargers to defensive pass game coordinator?
Well, it tells me that Brandon Staley wasn't too adamant about keeping him.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
they were sort of like, hey, if you're familiar, there's the door. It seems like
Yeah.
That kind of
Hey, good luck to you. Enjoy the East Coast. But yeah,
they promoted Derek Ainsley to the defensive coordinator spot. And Gunner, this name might sound familiar. Tommy Donatel is going to be the secondary coach.
Ed Donatel's son.
It's got to be,
my
right?
goodness.
Could there possibly just be another Donatel?
Oh my God. No.
It's got to be.
No.
I knew you would enjoy that. Yeah.
Wow. Good luck, Brandon.
Uh-huh.
I hope he doesn't subscribe to his dad's theory of playing defensive back in the NFL. If so, his coaching career is going to be on borrowed time.
Yeah.
Say that now.
I hear you.
Jeez.
All right.
goodness.
Let's we haven't done power rankings in a while. We generally did them during the regular season, and there were so many other things to dive into with the postseason that we didn't do it. But think about this today. Let's do one again. Let's do quarterbacks here and see how much it's changed maybe from where we were during the regular season to where it is now that we have the full season under our belt, including the postseason. All right. So this is regardless of conference. Okay. This is NFC, AFC. I'll go first. I still have Aaron Rodgers at 5. I don't know what it's going to look like with him going forward, where he's going to be, how much he's going to care.
Only the peyote knows.
I only the edibles. What was it? What kind
the Barrett Brooks edibles. Yeah, would you have Barrett Fruity Pebbles?
Yeah, it was Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, and he's in his darkness retreat. We don't. Who knows? But he could. To me, a change of scene could do him real good and rejuvenate him a little bit. So I'm going to still keep him in my top 5. All right. I know it sounds crazy, but whatever. Number 4, I have Josh Allen. He took a bit of a step back for me because he turned the ball over in the red zone too much. He forced a little bit too much. I could see him bouncing back very easily because I think he's insanely talented and he's got good weapons with him. So this is maybe a temporary step back to what could be a step forward next year. Number 3, I have Jalen Hurts. I have Jalen Hurts at number 3 now. He's gone that far for me. The Super Bowl cemented that the spot wasn't too big for him. It just justified what we saw in the regular season when he was healthy. Having those couple of weeks to heal up that shoulder, I think helped him. He made every throw he had to make. He made one mistake. That kind of stuff happens, unfortunately. He also was good with his legs. Leader, again, not afraid. Joe Burrow is my number 2. I love everything about the guy. I think he's clutch. I think he's a stud. I think he's still doing. They're still doing him a little bit of an injustice with that offensive line. Some of it you can't help; it's injuries. But I think this guy is the real deal. And lastly, it's Mahomes. I don't really think there's much question. So I go Mahomes, Burrow, Hurts, Allen, Rodgers.
I think mine's a little more mixed up.
Okay.
My number 5, and let me preface this by saying, your boy is out. He's out of my top 5. Your boy, he just, to me, I can't take at this point. Green Bay should have been a lot better, even with what they had. I think they still should have been a lot better. With A-Rod, they should have been a lot better, and I don't think he played. I thought he was disinterested this year for the first half of the season. So I can't put him on the list because he was disinterested.
All right.
So I'm going to put Justin Herbert's not on my list either. But Justin Herbert, I think Trevor Lawrence, that's my number 5. He jumped over Justin Herbert to me. They finally figured out a way to use him as more than just a drop back quarterback. He's using his legs. He's using his intangibles. He has become a top 5 quarterback in the league with Doug. Number 4, I'm going to put Joe Burrow. I'll put Joe Burrow as number 4. I think he's just one-dimensional, and that's why. And that one dimension is great. You know what I'm saying? He's great at that. But he just has so many great weapons around him that it's just easy for him to go out there and play. Number 3, I'll put Jalen Hurts. I think he's transcended and made that. He made being a dual threat quarterback, a guy that can throw the ball just as good as he can run the ball, a vogue type of concept now for when you're looking for quarterbacks in the draft now. Number 2, I still got to go with Josh Allen. Size, his arm, to me, he's still the top 2 quarterback. And then number 1 is Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Hard to argue. So run through it real quick, 1 through 5 again.
All right. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Joe Burrows and Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Yeah, we're not too far off on a lot of those. I think. By the way, Lawrence is just an up and comer. He's a riser, for sure. All right, good list, Barrett. How about you, Derek?
My number 2 and 3, I went back and forth with time and time again since before the show started. But number 5 is definitely for me, Trevor Lawrence. I think.
He made the list. Okay.
Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson has done wonders with that young man in 1 year.
Yep.
He's now starting to play like he did at Clemson, and he even showed it. Even in a losing effort against Kansas City in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence is a much better quarterback in 2022 than he was in 21. Mechanics, footwork, work. Doug Peterson identified how to utilize his overall athleticism. Hey, you got to run. I mean, he's a big, lanky dude, but still he can step up and run the football as well as throw it. And that makes him more of that dual threat. It takes some of the heat off of his receivers when they line up. Number 4, Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen has a big arm, probably one of the strongest arms in the NFL. I truly believe Josh Allen suffered from the absence of Brian Daboll. especially in red zone offense. He made way too many mistakes down the stretch that cost him games, and that's because the security blanket wasn't there. My number 3 would have to be Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts will be in that conversation for years to come as who is one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and you can't finish a sentence without pulling Jalen Hurts' name in there based on what we just saw from 2022. Mm-hmm. My number 2 is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow does everything and anything you can think of. Joe Burrow is a winner. Kudos to Cincinnati because they surrounded him with a plethora of talent. They still need some work to do in that offensive line, but in terms of receivers and running backs, they've done an incredible job of getting Joe Burrow everything he needs. And it's a slam dunk. Mahomes, to me, is head and shoulders better than any other quarterback in the National Football League. Even though Jalen Hurts outplayed him in the Super Bowl, I thought that was Jalen Hurts' best game this entire season. Patrick Mahomes is still that dude. He is David Copperfield, Houdini, all rolled into one. I still can't get over some of the throws he makes, sidearms, flipping it over the top, behind his back. You can't teach stuff like that. That's a given talent. And I don't know if the fact that Kansas City moved up from the 20s to number 10 to draft this dude, when they had Alex Smith already in the fold. Alex Smith quarterback one more season after they drafted Patrick Mahomes, and they got rid of him and gave the reins over to Mahomes in his second year. He just took off from there.
Yeah.
You wonder what percentage of it is coaching compared to just his natural athleticism. I'm sure we'll see more of that down the road. But, man, I tell you what, right now, Mahomes, is there anything he can't do? Plain and simple, is there anything he can't do at this stage of his career?
No, it's a matter of how many he's going to win. That's really what it comes down to. I thought you guys would find this interesting. Josh Harris visited the training facilities for the Washington Commanders, according to the Washington Post. Prospective buyer of the Commanders toured the team's facilities on Friday, according to a person with knowledge of the situation. Interesting, right?
Very interesting.
That's not going to sit well. I can tell you this: he's already the owner of the Devils, but because it's hockey, there's a little less visibility on it. This one won't sit well with Eagles fans or Sixers fans.
No, the Devils still don't sit well with Eagles fans.
Yeah, true.
So let alone the Washington football team. Well, I'm sorry, the Commandos.
Yep.
Man, can he make that franchise? It'll be easy to make the franchise better than what it is. Put it like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very low.
Will the city? Yeah. Will DC accommodate them for a new stadium? That's what I want to know. What because they can't go with those smoke and mirrors anymore. It's either you are or you aren't right now. Josh Harris. He's trying to move. He's already trying to move the Sixers.
Yeah.
To downtown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Will he be able to get the same deal done up in DC?
He certainly brings a lot of capital to the table, but I'm sure as does everybody who's involved in this, who might be in the running. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. All right, let's step aside, and when we come back, I want to ask you a question because we have an interesting birthday today, and I want to pose a question to you guys off of that. Also, when we come back, let's dig into some chat section questions. You guys have any questions? Throw a question mark in front of it in the chat section, and we'll take and read some of the best ones. So we'll do that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, and Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.
Philadelphia fans. We're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at JAKIB. At JAKIB we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give JAKIB a call or check us out online.
My name is Fran Salerno, and I'm a managing director here at Del Valle Insurance Group. Been in the business for over 36 years, saving people money on their insurance needs. Give us a call. Let us help you custom design an insurance plan that meets both your needs and budget.
All right, final segment of the show. We appreciate you hanging with us on this Monday, President's Day, February 20th. So a couple things, guys. And we'll get heavily into the birthdays, but we'll do one just to kick it off. Heavier into the birthdays in a minute. But Charles Barkley turned 60 today. Big 6-0 for Chuck. Handled all the studio stuff last night and throughout the weekend for the All-Star game. TNT studio show. It's Charles, Kenny Smith, Shaq, and Ernie Johnson, and has been for a long time. And in my opinion, hands down, the best studio show of any sport.
Yep.
Because they're real, they're funny, they will bust each other's stones, they're irreverent, they don't care. Charles has a zero bleeps given high ratio for sure. So here's a question I have for you, because Charles is mine. Favorite sports media personality?
I
Past, present. Past, present.
It's a toss-up with me. A toss-up. To me, it's Chuck and Shaq, man. Like Shaq is, between the two of them, man, it's hard for me to pick one from the other. You know what I'm saying? So to me, they're on the same level. So I couldn't just pick one of them. I had to pick both of them, man.
Okay.
Wow.
So you got a tie. How about you, Derek?
Ooh, man, when I think about media personalities, man, there's so many studio hosts. I mean, when I'm looking at Shaq and Charles, it's more of a personality thing, because sometimes you're like, what did they just say?
Right.
They're not the most eloquent when it comes to spitting information out.
Right.
They're entertainers. Wow. But informative, entertaining. My goodness. See, for me, I like the good old boy Terry Bradshaw.
Whoa.
Terry Bradshaw's Country is the Day is Long.
Country is a box of cornflakes.
Country is a box of cornflakes. But he's funny. He's informative, yet he's funny as well. Everybody, Terry Bradshaw's like that granddad. Everybody likes Terry Bradshaw, and he's been doing it for such a long time. You just expect that. So I'm gonna have to say, I don't disagree with Barrett. Shaq and Charles are hard to to overlook, but I'm gonna go with Terry because he's been doing it so much longer.
Yeah, and I guess it depends how you look at it. Like with those guys, I love that there's like the humor element to it. They're not afraid to make fun of themselves and all that. I that's what really appeals, I think, to the audience, right? Other guys, like when you ask this, it doesn't just have to be that. It could be, I just love that. Like, I think this dude's just a great analyst or whatever. Like, it could be that too. What's the matter, Derek?
I'm sorry, Rob. This is silly. I'm hurting you, John.
See, you're not invited to the party anymore.
I'm sorry, Big Sales. I'm sorry, Rob. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right.
I saw that.
Like also though, and who's transcended sports and everything else. Probably the sharpest guy of the bunch is probably Michael Strahan.
It's amazing what he's done.
Yeah, he's transcended not just sports, but he's in a, the best morning, so-called, the best morning show, you know what I'm saying? So you got to go with him as far as being the sharpest guy.
I give guys credit who step out of their comfort level. In other words, Strahan's one of them. Like he's doing, not that he's doing like hardcore news all the time, but he is doing that. And he's doing feature pieces where, in other words, it's not all sports and it's not all football.
Right.
And Nate Burleson's doing that as well.
Nate also,
left Good Morning Football and is doing CBS's morning show, whatever the name of it is. He's doing CBS's morning show, and I think he's really, really good. I'll stay on that tip for a minute because I agree with you, Barrett. I think both of those. I think Strahan is good, and I think Nate's good too. I really like Kyle Brandt. I think Kyle Brandt's awesome on Good Morning Football. He brings a humor element to it.
Yes,
he kind of stretches it outside of football sometimes, and his background is such that he did some acting. He was on The Real World. Like he's done other stuff, which I think allows him to be able to do that. I think he's really good.
He has such a great grasp for culture.
Yes.
He incorporates culture into a lot of his football jargon. It does make a difference. Movies, entertainers, whatever the case may be. He's very good at that, very animated. Very informative. You're right. He's another really good one, Rob. That's a great one to pick.
And he's more on the sort of newer end of this. They've been around for a good 5-6 years now, that show. Maybe it's been longer. I don't know. But he's definitely a guy that I would put in that category for me. And I think they've done an excellent job with that show, period. Good Morning Football. I think it's an entertaining show. But I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could go. You could even go with guys who were on broadcast.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
they took that show from our Breakfast on Broad show.
They incorporated a lot of elements because we were on before it, and have utilized it. I'm glad to see that they've gotten proper support.
Yeah, they did. We should have gotten it too, or we'd still be on it right now.
Yeah, they got proper support, and that's important. Boy.
Wait, you guys didn't get proper support?
I'm not going to get Barrett in too much trouble, but the short answer, Derek.
Derek, come on, man.
The answer is no.
Let me tell you something. If Barrett hasn't gotten in trouble by now, he ain't getting in trouble.
No.
What are you talking about? I stay in trouble. I get in trouble all the time. I just got in trouble.
See, that
I was just on punishment. Because I said pissed off. I shouldn't have said pissed off. I said pissed off too many times in the post game show.
Hey, your cohort did get in trouble for using the BS word twice on live TV. You like Teflon Don now. You can do what you want to do now. You can walk around. You can walk around in Speedo in the studio if you want to now.
The world's not ready for that.
Oh my God,
they're not ready for that.
What? No proper support? I'm shocked.
But I would say, I'll give you another one that I like, and I don't put him in the same category as these guys we're talking about. But I think Greg Olson's future is really, really bright as an analyst.
Well, if he stays at Fox, he'll always be overshadowed by Tom Brady. That's the problem.
It's true.
Just as he's starting to come into his own, and you saw the numbers where they're renegotiating his deal. I mean,
right.
But do you want to be a number 2 and you potentially could be a number 1 somewhere else? And he's not going to ESPN. They're locked into who they have for a long time to come.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have, he's not going to NBC because that duo is not going anywhere. Tariq and Collinsworth ain't going anywhere. So he's kind of handcuffed when you think about it.
Yeah, I hear you. Here's from Fitness Rebel. Did you guys catch any XFL games? If so, what did you think of the kickoff rules? Not to run until the ball is caught by the return guy. In other words, the kick-off team can't return until the guy catches it, I guess. I'm just being frank. I didn't catch much of the XFL this weekend.
Me neither.
I did not, because I was so tied up with so many other things over the weekend.
Mhm.
It is on my to-do list. I will watch it in the immediate future. But no,
and I'm not
I've seen it
anti
yet.
either. I'll watch
Yes.
some of it. I'm not.
And see, I will, because I'm just a football junkie. I want to see it. I got to see it. I want to see what it looks like. I don't want to hear everybody else's opinion. I mean, not in a negative way.
Yeah.
But I want to formulate my own opinion from firsthand experience, from what I'm watching, the entertainment value of it or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
But good question, Fitness.
The Rock, baby, The Rock.
Well, and that's also oftentimes how leagues come up with better rules. They see it in some other places like that, and then they will incorporate it themselves. Kevin Savard, how about Howard Cosell? He didn't have a filter. He's right. He did not have a filter back in the day. For people who don't remember Howard, he would speak what's on his mind. That is for sure. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Some of the things I saw. A guest of our show, Anthony Becht, is one of the head coaches there. I saw some I was flipping around for a second last night. Remember Ben DiNucci?
Oh yeah, quarterback.
Yes.
He's one of the quarterbacks in that league.
Oh, get out of here! I'm about to say
yeah.
he's one of the he's one of the coaches. Oh, he's still playing. Okay,
Ben
All right,
DiNucci's one of the quarterbacks. Paxton Lynch, remember him? He was at the Broncos. I think he got benched yesterday in one of the games. It's always interesting because a couple of those guys end up catching on somewhere.
Dude, if you get benched in an XFL game, it's time for you to look in the mirror and call it a career.
It's time to figure out, get into insurance or something.
It's time to go, man. I mean, go work at White Castle somewhere, dude. I'm just saying, you got to call it a career. You get benched in a game at that level. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. It just asks thoughts on Jim Leonard as the DC. Yeah, we touched on it earlier, but a good question. He is an intriguing name. He's a guy who's had a lot of success at the college level as a coach and played 10 years in the NFL. So it's not like he's not familiar with the NFL stage. I know he's really respected, man. I will tell you that. I think he's a real candidate. They're not wasting their time with him for no reason.
When you consistently have a top 10 defense at a middle of the road Big Ten school like Wisconsin, where you're not getting the creme de la creme, and you stack the defensive numbers up year in and year out with the likes of the SEC and the ACC, you've done your job. You've gone above and beyond the call of duty. That tells me you know what you're doing. And Jim Leonard has taken the talent he has given and has made them maybe not so much individual. He's had a couple great individuals like, TJ Watt, TJ Edwards. But when you can take a collection of average athletes, a little bit above average athletes, and make them into a dominant unit, that tells me you know a little bit something about what you're doing in terms of constructing a defense. I think Jim Leonard's a very intriguing name out there. Played the game at the highest level for 10 years in the NFL. He's somebody they should be seriously considering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they. For the most part, they're looking at guys who do, I would say, lean more aggressive than Jonathan Gannon. For what it's worth. I don't know. I think they're still interviewing people. We don't know ultimately where this is going to land. But like we also talked about earlier, we haven't heard anything about the offensive coordinator position.
Nothing.
Not nary a word, man.
Yep.
Nationally, locally, anything.
And I think that's because we know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know that Johnson is, but who's going to be the quarterback's coach? Who's going to, fill that void? Who's going to fill the void of the linebacker coach?
Well, let me ask you, is it a good thing to not at least talk to other people or interview other people?
It was a good thing, Are we gonna sit back and really let them bring in somebody that nobody knows about? Because I can see them doing that.
For what?
For defensive coordinator?
Yes.
Well, I don't know, who.
So like Nick Sirianni was not on anybody's radar.
Right.
And they bring him in.
Right.
Are we looking to do something like that? Are we going to do something like tried and tested?
I don't know, man. I mean, the Eagles aren't afraid to do that kind of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
In other words, it's possible. Yeah.
I mean, just from out of nowhere, we get RKO'd by a guy we never even thought about being. Like, you know, they've done it before. They've definitely done it.
They have. I mean, look, somebody comes in here who maybe was highly thought of, but he was a linebacker. It was like a Nick Rallis type or something like whatever.
Right.
Comes in and blows them away. I don't think the Eagles are afraid to pull the trigger on that kind of guy.
Right. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
The only problem is, what's he going to be working with in terms of player personnel? Because everything's going to be measured by what this defense just did in 2022.
Yeah, and
that's unfair. But it's
whoever it is might not have that firepower, Derek.
No.
Yeah,
you may have a bunch of kids and scrubs like Barrett was talking about last week as your starting defensive players.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not a fair comparison, but that's the nature of the beast. That's what we do. That's what the fan base will do.
Yeah,
compare it to the predecessor. And I can just see it now. That defense bottom out, and people start screaming, "Bring back Jonathan Gann." I can see it happening. Bring back Rob's guy Ganwagon.
Too late. Derek Gunn ran him out of 10 now.
Right. You just got that man fired, man.
That's right.
Messed up, bro.
Let's go birthdays. We mentioned Chuck himself is 60. Charles Barkley. Let's hit some other ones. Rihanna. We're a little familiar with Rihanna.
Riri
may have cost the Eagles the Super Bowl. It's her fault the Eagles lost that Super Bowl.
Right.
Blaming Rihanna.
She's worth an estimated $1.4 billion for somebody who hasn't performed in 6 years prior to the Super Bowl. $1.4 billion.
Her makeup line.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Good question. Let me hit this one. From Nick Sirianni, Owen Shanahan. Our number one play was taken away. Before we get into birthdays, now what in short yardage? I think they'll still be fine in short yardage, Nick, but it's absurd that the NFL's taking the tush push away. It's not illegal. Yeah, it's not illegal.
Did you call it the tush push?
That's what they're calling it. I don't like the name necessarily.
The tush push.
Yes, that's what they're calling it.
Is it official or taking it away?
It hasn't officially happened yet.
Okay, it'll be discussed at the league meetings.
It sounds like momentum is headed that way.
Yeah,
and simply because why? It looks too much like a rugby scrum because Eagles are good at it. Yeah.
You know why? Because it's a Philadelphia thing. If it was somebody else's thing, wouldn't be touched. It's a great novelty.
I know.
And more teams will be doing it.
To me, figure out a way to stop it, period. That's it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that they're doing that. And it just feels like, why? Because it's been so successful. All right, birthdays. Rihanna's 35 today. Kurt Cobain of Nirvana was born on this day in 1967.
Yep.
Olivia Rodrigo is 20 years old today. Miles Teller, who is a local guy from Downingtown area, is 36 years old today.
Top Gun,
very good actor.
Top
too.
Gun, yeah.
He's very diverse. He could do a lot. He was great in Whiplash. You guys saw that, right? Oh my God, it's intense Whiplash. Trevor Noah, the host for Comedy Central, is
Trevor Noah, man. Love him.
And he does a lot of award shows and whatnot. Trevor Noah, also a comedian, is 39 years old today. Sidney Poitier was born on this day in 1927. The great actor and humanitarian.
Say that again, Rob.
Poitier.
I love how you said that. Sidney Poitier.
That's a great name. That's one of those names that it's just like you hear it, you're like, whoa, Poitier. You got to stand and you're paying attention. Yeah, when you hear that.
My favorite movie of his will always be Lilies of the Field. That was such a great movie back then.
Yep.
Oh my God! Every now and then it'll pop on TV somewhere, and I'll watch it. Just like the first time I've ever seen it.
He's brilliant, man.
I look at it in the heat of the night, man.
Yeah, heat of the night.
Yeah, heat of the night.
To Serve with Love. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's so many with him.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Yeah. Cindy Crawford, supermodel. 57.
Strong.
Still. Amen. Yes, sir. Yep.
She was ranked the number one hottest woman of all time.
Yeah. She has not lost a lot of steps. Still there. The 40 time is still good, Barrett.
We got to start writing all these down that Rob comes up with when we start talking about
right.
She
made moles popular.
Oh, did she ever?
Beauty
man.
mark, yeah.
No
You
question.
saw women out there painting black dots on their faces.
Madonna, they used to do that because Madonna had one of those too back in the day.
Right.
I mean, I'm in grade school and I'm seeing girl. Did you have that yesterday? What is that? All right. Ansel Adams. He was a photographer. He was actually once referenced by Chip Kelly in some weird press conference that he had one time. It's crazy. But anyway, he was a great photographer, artist, environmentalist, but he was born in 1902. The actor Jay Hernandez, he's in Magnum PI, the new edition of it. He's 45 years old. Justin Verlander celebrates his 40th birthday. He's now a Met. We saw him last year with the Astros.
Still throwing smoke.
He is still throwing smoke. Gloria Vanderbilt was born on this day, 1924. Vanderbilt jeans and the famous rich family. I think Anderson Cooper's her son, I think.
Yeah, tell the truth, Rob. Did you ever have a pair of Gloria Vanderbilt jeans?
No, I did not. No. I remember when they were in the 80s. I remember them. They were big, but no, it was not my I had like Wranglers or Levi's or Tough Skins from the Sears. Yeah.
You can watch Tough Skins 50 times. They still wouldn't fade, bro.
Things are great. They were phenomenal. They were indestructible.
Right.
You light them on fire and they wouldn't burn. Those things.
Jeez.
It's true. Robert Altman, the director producer, was born on this day in 1925, and that's all I got. Birthdays. What else do you guys have?
I'll let Barry go first.
All right.
Jay Hernandez is 45. He's from the movie Hostile and Suicide Squad. Brian Luttrell from the Backstreet Boys.
Yep.
Woo! Backstreet Boys.
Barrett's favorite. I thought you were more of an NSYNC guy.
Right. Mitch McConnell
Street
is 81.
All right.
Old Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. Yep, still hanging around.
Still don't like him.
Yep.
Fred Jackson from Buffalo, running back.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
One of the best racers around, Bobby Unser.
Oh, Bobby Unser.
There you go.
He won the Indianapolis 500, 68, 75, and 81.
He won it 3 times. Wow.
Right. And then Roger Penske from Team Penske.
Yep.
Still going strong.
Mm-hmm.
Still going strong. Corey Spinks, Leon Spinks' son.
Wow.
He was a welterweight. He held the IBF, WBC, and WBA welterweight belts from 2003 to 2005. From the career from St. Louis. That's why I had to mention him.
There you go.
And then I'll say my boy, Kansas State guy, Jamie Mendez, safety. Actually got drafted. Well, came in on a free agency contract here to the Philadelphia Eagles and got cut the first cut. He was slow as pine water.
Yeah, I don't remember him at all.
Yeah, he was slow as pine water. But he was great for college football because he was slow as pine water, but he was just so daggone smart. But you got to be smart and fast at the NFL level. And he was not fast whatsoever. But it's still my boy. Jamie was a good dude.
And you guys played together. Did he was an undrafted free agent? Did he come out the same year as you?
No, he came out 2 years before I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Safety was all big 8. Oh, it's Big 8 now. It was all Big 8 back then, so
gotcha.
Big 12 now, but it's Big 8. He was all Big 8. Really good player. Oh, and also one last one. Stephon Marbury turned 46 today.
Starbury. Yes.
Yeah.
Starbury, baby.
Yeah, that career didn't finish the way I thought it was going to finish.
No.
He was one of those. He was destined for greatness, man. And it kind of.
He went to Japan and became that dude. That's because he tried to put his own sneakers out. You can't put your own. You gotta have somebody else put your sneakers.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought he and Garnett were going to play there forever, and
right.
Match made in heaven, but no, I guess not. All right, Derek, you got any?
All right, fasten your seatbelts. Ivana Trump would have been 73. Unfortunately, she passed in 2022. Yep. Patty Hearst, granddaughter of publisher William Hearst, who was kidnapped, held ransom for years.
Yeah.
69. Amanda Blake. You go back to the early 60s. Remember the old Western Gunsmoke?
Yeah.
Right. She was Miss Kitty on Gunsmoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Andrew Shue played Melrose Place. It's from Wilmington, Delaware, and his sister is Elizabeth Shue, the actress.
Oh, yeah.
Sandy Duncan, 77.
Oh,
Peter Strauss, from the TV series Rich Man, Poor Man, which was a big miniseries, 76. Jason Blum, producer. He produced Insidious, The Purge, Oculus, Get Out, all those great horror-type movies, 53. Brian Luttrell, as you just said, Backstreet Boys, okay. Whitney Blake, co-creator of One Day at a Time, the sitcom back in. He also played in the old show, the comedy Hazel, which was funny. Buffy St. Marie, remember that name as an actress?
Great name.
Yeah, she was an actress, won an Oscar. Matter of fact, she was the first woman, the first indigenous person to win an Oscar.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. The singer Nancy Wilson. Would have been. Yep. Would have been. Let's see. Who else we got here on the list? Gail Gordon. Remember Gail Gordon from the old Lucy show? He was Mr. Theodore J. Mooney.
Yeah, he was an angry guy.
Yes. Let's see. Phil Esposito, 81.
Oh, yeah. Great hockey player.
William Garson, 57, from the old Newhart show, Freaky Friday, Sex and the City. Brent Gretzky, brother of Wayne, 50 years old today.
He had a pretty good hockey career, too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He hung around a little bit, yeah.
Levon Hernandez, the pitcher, who played for 10 different teams, 48 years old.
Yep.
Tom Waddle, former NFL running back, 55.
He's a really successful talk show host in Chicago.
Yes. Brian James. He always played these villain roles in movies like 48 Hours, Another 48 Hours,
you know the face. I know that.
Yeah,
you definitely know the face.
You know the face, but you never remember the name.
Totally. That guy was good.
My final one right here in our own backyard, Milt Wagner, the dad, not the son. Milt Wagner, the dad, is 59 today. Had a brief stint in the NBA with the Lakers and the Heat back in the early 80s.
Good one. Okay. All right. That's it, man. We're out of time. That'll do it for us. Yeah. We're back at it.
The movie list stunk.
It was awful. I didn't even, not one they made the list.
The only one I saw was Medea Goes to Jail, and I never watched that one.
I didn't see that one.
It's not worth watching. Put it like
no,
that.
they were all weak today. That's for sure. All right. What's not weak? Tomorrow we got 3 hours of power, same time, noon to 3 Eastern. I want to thank Xander doing his thing. I want to thank everybody in the chat section, everybody streaming, everybody listening. Don't go anywhere. Dan Cilio is coming up. He's got the National Football Show rolling your way for 3 hours coming up immediately following us. So everybody enjoy your President's Day, and we're looking forward to hanging out with you tomorrow. That's Derek. That's Barrett. I'm Rob. We appreciate it, guys. We are Sports Day, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Tell a friend. See you tomorrow.